Hello and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Podcast.
Ignore me.
I'm Matt Carter.
I'm Kyle Oliver.
I'm Justin Bell, obviously being ignored over here.
Well, I mean, that's why you don't just talk right at the tip of the
What are you talking about?
You like look up on that
Your essence
desktop?
or kind of looks like Dr. Robotnik wearing like a Freddy mask, I guess.
No, it's Dr. Robotnik. Like he has like a symbol, like Sonic has a symbol and Tails has a symbol
Oh,
in like the game. Dr. Robotnik's symbol looks a lot like that.
okay.
Dr. Robotnik's symbol.
He definitely.
I guess it's similar. As in, it's a circle with eyes and teeth.
It looks. Yeah, I looked at that. And Matt just has it there. And I'm just like, oh.
That's not what it looks like, though.
No, it's definitely not the same thing.
The only thing that is similar is the teeth, and I
And the
guess the
circle.
circularness, because...
Yes.
Circles are just.
And
It's so.
Oh God, Dr. Robotnik in real life, make it go away. But no, keep in mind I haven't seen this symbol in like a really long time.
But that's what it reminded you of.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me
Okay.
of.
Well, the reason why I did it like that is because I needed a symbol for my game that represented like death or killing things, and so I chose a skull. And then all of the icons that are part of where this icon shows up, part of where this symbol shows up, are all circular. They're all designed out of a circular area.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, rather than it being I'm designing something in a box, like on my piece of paper is a circle, so nothing can go outside of that circle. So if I have to do a heart and it has to be big or whatever, the heart is going to be curved in a certain way to
Be a circle.
be a circle.
Okay.
And now we're here with a podcast
Yes.
about
So you're
not Yu-Gi-Oh!
Design that symbol yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Looks kind of like tribal because it has that stuff on the side, like the paint on the side of his face.
And today, we'll be talking a little bit about a lot of stuff.
But this isn't the Essence podcast. That comes later.
Yeah.
This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game podcast.
Where we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And today, specifically, I guess we're talking about, what's it called?
News?
The Secret Forces and News and whatever and YCS and who knows what.
Yes. It'll be the assassination.
I'm surprised that
podcast.
puts it out first, but Google just knows. So,
It knows me.
yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's expected. Whenever I use like something like Bing, I'm so frustrated with the irrelevance of the results that I get. It's like whenever I use Google, it's just so much better. It's like it gives me what I want to see, and Bing gives me all this crap I don't care about.
Yeah. Talk about living in the future or the present of personalized search algorithms.
Google. The future is now.
Yep, and if you're Google and you want to sponsor the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Podcast, please, feel free to send us an email.
Every episode we will use Google to search.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want us to switch to Bing, do you?
You could say that Google is the official search engine of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game podcast.
You could say that. We're not even being paid to say it yet.
Yeah.
But we will say it like we're paid to do it later.
Yeah, just like that.
We just might be. Okay. So.
All right.
But before the Secret Forces, which comes out soon. Like,
Soon.
you'll probably be out by the time you're listening to this.
Probably.
I'm excited for this pack, except for the rarities.
I'm excited for this pack, except I'm lying.
This pack is okay.
Many differing opinions here at the YCG podcast.
I don't think I dislike anything in the Secret Forces. The Yosenjus are cool. The names are apparently bad now.
I know.
Oh, my
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's really...
Boom, 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 and L and R.
Anyway, are they like... Is that a game thing joke?
But
No, one is the left scale and one's the right scale.
Oh,
I can't
see.
believe that.
But they're like those, not doorways. Those Japanese like frames.
Those arch thingies?
Arches, yeah, that's a better term.
Oh, yeah, I see what
And
you mean.
one is the left side and one's the
Oh,
right.
that's really cool.
They look really awesome though.
They do look cool, but their names are dumb.
Yeah.
It's fine.
They could have been anything. Like West and East would have been better.
But it says Yosenju Shinshu L.
I still would have preferred like
Oh,
West
yeah.
or East.
Yeah, that would have been way better.
Because those are more, I don't know, meaningful
Are your
terms.
Senju's good now?
They were never bad. The reason I don't like this pack is because I'm not going to make any decks in this pack.
I would play Necros, I would play Yosenju, I would play Spiritual Beasts,
I'll play them if they were given to me.
Yeah.
I'll play.
Oh, there's some good reprints in here. Specifically, Vanity's Emptiness is like one that matters probably.
And it's super. Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Where's Preparation of Brights?
Right, you were just on
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
They got that money.
Let's see how long that is. At 3-4.
Altitude Night. I love that card.
I don't.
Why not?
It's terrible.
Why is Gishki Vision in here?
Vision Gishki?
Does it specifically state water ritual?
Yes.
Oh, a water monster. Okay.
Mhm.
There we go.
But that's completely useless because I think there's like
They already have one.
Shwit.
Yeah. Shwit. Little Shwit.
A little Shwit.
Little Shwit.
Yeah. Strategist of the Necros.
Mm.
It's up more. And he's a super, right? Yeah.
Shwit.
He can be treated as the full ritual, and when he's tributed, stuff happens, and when he's banished, stuff happens.
Yeah.
He's a strategist.
I don't know if he has
but
the
like a
banished. No,
sword.
he doesn't have a banished one.
He doesn't look like a strategist.
Come on, he has a sword that's based off of his magic staff.
He looks more like the hero of the Necros or something like that.
Mm.
The main character who overcomes adversity of the Necros.
Something like that.
He fights the Necros and banishes them to death.
And he has that stupid 2 different eye colors.
He also has
Oh
two different
yeah,
hair
that makes him
colors.
really cool.
That's one of my least favorite things is when people like draw their like cool protagonist and he's got 2 different eye colors. And that's like I don't know. I think that's really
I
immature.
want to watch an anime where, like, a character. So they have powers.
Yeah.
Like elemental powers or whatever. So
Sure.
all the Earth people have like brown eyes. All the water users have blue eyes. All the lightning users have yellow eyes or
What,
whatever.
they get mad, their eye color changes?
What? Is
Avatar?
Is that how that works in Avatar?
I mean, everybody I'm not sure of everybody, but all the waterbenders typically are blue-eyed people.
But then you have someone who has like multiple eye colors.
Well, nobody can do both, other than the Avatar.
Well, no. See, this is why it can't be the Avatar.
Yeah, I know.
And
Someone
someone
have 2 different eye colors.
Someone is hiding the fact that they have a second.
Oh, and they
power
wear
with an
a
eye
different,
patch or something,
or
they wear contacts.
Yeah.
It'd
Mm-hmm.
be interesting.
Or their contacts fall out and then their eyes are like violet. This is a mix of 2 different
Yeah.
colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they start glowing and it's just like he's really mad.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really cliche.
It sounds awesome. I'd watch an anime like
It'd
that.
be exciting.
That's all you need to watch the anime? Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really cliche, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Kyle, for not enjoying the power trip that we were just on.
That's
Is that
fine
a
with me.
Justin and I know.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so Enforcer of the Necros.
But before we get into
Excellent.
this pack or whatever,
It's just a water cretin.
Oh, does he look cool like the other dude?
He has claws.
he's a dragon.
Oh wow, he's some kind of
Wolverine man.
Merbeast.
Beast.
Go away.
He's Merverine.
Wolverine.
Merverine man.
Mervin.
Mervin Enforcer of the
Mervin, Enforcer of the Necros.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh my
That's a thing
gosh.
now.
Our plans be Mervin forward quickly.
So I don't even know what to say about this pack. The Necros are good. The Yosenjus are
Good.
like
but
maybe they'll be.
Yosenjus
tier
are
one after
good,
more
they're just
support.
they're not Necros.
They're not. They're definitely tier
I-
2.
Of them, the most interesting to me is the Ritual Beasts.
I like the Ritual Beasts a lot.
Wait a minute. So,
But they're the least good.
what? How do you feel about this? The combo we were talking about earlier. The one with Yosenjus and Summoning Curse. You know that one.
People can only. Oh, I was actually thinking about that.
Wait, no, that you're thinking of Summon Limit.
No. I was thinking of. You're right. I was thinking of Summon Limit, but I was also thinking of 4-star Ladybug of Doom.
Like this, you gain 1,000 life points.
No.
No, that's
It
not
destroys
destroys
all face-up level 4 monsters your opponent controls.
when it's
When
flipped.
it's flipped, yeah.
Okay.
Ha! Unless they destroy face-down cards, you get them.
Or they have one of the gates prevents
what
your
Summon
monsters
Curse
from being
does,
destroyed
right?
by card effects.
Ugh.
You know what Summon Curse does, right?
5,000 every 500 every time you summon something, or it bans
No.
you?
You banish a card from your hand every time you special summon them. Our monster is special summoned to your set of field.
Oh, that's good.
It's alright. It's
Wait, isn't there?
unless you do it turn 1, it's like not worth it because any deck can just set their hand and be okay.
That's true.
And then you just have it on the field and you pay life points and now you can't special summon either.
Mhm.
It's awkward. It needs to be a trap.
So you can do it to interrupt
it to
things.
You chain it to an effect that special summons.
Mm.
And then they start feeling the pain. Chop it rain.
Yeah, but it's all right. But considering that Yosenju work without that, you might as well not run it. Just like why you don't run Black Garden and Bujins either.
Well, they'll send you all normal side stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. The idea is that you play Black Garden and you summon a Yugioh, and you just summon all of them and give them tokens until they die.
Oh yeah, that worked. That was a combo I forgot to mention part.
You'll send you Black Garden summoning curse. Okay.
There's other weird things you can like fill up your opponent's entire field if you just run frogs. Just keep summoning Swap Frog. But it's stupid.
It's trolling, boy.
I wish they had given them better names. 1, 2, and 3 is not good. Even if that's what it means in Japanese, they could have done better. Like, I was telling Ricky, they could have just been Yosenju, comma, Uno, Dos, and Tres. That would have been better. Like, as long as they don't just tell us it's 1, 2, 3, I'm fine with it.
Matt wants to know what comma means.
Weapon.
Comma is a site.
The comma, sometimes referred to as the kai or double kai. Comma, made with intentionally dull blades for kata demonstration purposes, are referred to as katakai. A traditional Filipino and Japanese farming implement similar to a sickle used for reaping crops and also employed as a weapon. The comma is often included in weapon training segments of karate, silat, and in some Chinese martial arts.
Yosenju, comma, 1, 2, and 3. So there's 3 sickles.
He's not even holding a sickle, though.
It just means weapon.
Yeah, fine.
I think Kamitachi is also like a pun, maybe, but I could be wrong.
Kama-san.
Are those scales even good?
Yes. So before we get into this, should we just say what we've been up to or whatever? Yeah. He's kind of got a sickle. This is invisible.
That's right there.
Oh, he's going up with it, but it looks like there's like a...
Yeah, oh, that's true. An invisible sickle. He uses that with the sword.
Grim Reaper.
So yeah, what have I been up to? I played Necroz like once, maybe twice, and then I did something else. I've had a lot of stuff to do this week.
That's what happens in life.
Yeah. What did I do? I'll say what I did.
Oh.
Let's see. I finalized... I printed out some rules for my game, the current rules that I could think of, and then I had 2 people play it, and they actually wanted to play more, which was cool.
Oh, man.
And I changed a lot. I changed 3 things about it that made it a lot faster and a lot more interesting.
This is the, like, Arthur one, right?
Yes. What else? I contemplated buying a box of the... Whatever this is, the Secret Forces. Yeah. I got card storage boxes because I have, like, I don't know, 50 tins maybe filled with cards.
Yeah.
And I bought some of the large 5-row boxes that you can put cards into that, I don't know, they hold somewhere between 3,000 or 5,000. I can't specifically remember, but I will actually look to get the accurate number. So I put all... Kyle and Justen came in, and then you guys saw one box that was filled to the brim with cards. That was all monsters, only monsters. The other box that was there was only spells. And I still have way more monsters.
And no traps.
And no traps yet, so I need another box.
Oh my gosh. You have way too many cards?
I know, way too many cards.
What's more, a lot of them are old. Old and good.
Yeah?
Old and good? I don't know about that.
Old and bad.
Yeah. Now everything is bad that's old.
Yeah, pretty much.
According to Ricky, there's nothing that was old that'll ever be good again, unless it's, like, glaringly obvious.
Oh, 5,000 count boxes.
That's not true. People thought that Preparation Rice was, like, done. That's old.
Why?
Well, I came across a bunch of random stuff that would be like, if the time came, this card could just be randomly good. Because they made a lot of...
Emptiness, that was old.
Like, random...
It's not old.
It was. Check out when it came out. Raging Battle.
Doesn't matter.
No.
There's a lot of cards that they made that don't serve a purpose unless other things get either added to the game or
become relevant again.
Drastically. Yeah, so it was interesting. And I also think that we have maybe come to a time where the regular packs can be
the other pack that everything came in.
The regular packs, not the Secret Forces style packs, can be part of like a set rotation thing. Like you can only play packs from like these 4 sets.
They might as well.
The
only thing they have to do is start re-releasing like or copy cloning MST type cards.
Well, I don't even think you need to do that either.
Oh, don't mess around. Don't do that.
They've essentially done that without telling us.
You know what? I'm sad that, like, I have no reason to play with certain archetypes as they are now because there are things that are better, and if I want to be competitive, I have no reason to play with them. I mean, technically I could if I wanted to go to a tournament and have fun and spend more time refining something than someone else would have to. And I could. I do that. I do that now. But I would like everybody to be on the same ground. And I think missing the opportunity to play certain archetypes in the past because...
That's annoying, yeah.
Like, remember regular ninjas? Like the colored ninjas? Like, that might have been fun. I don't know. Early wind-ups might have been fun if everybody...
No, you missed your chance. You could never play wind-ups, injectors, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Ever again, unless they release new support, in which case you only need like 3 of the cards.
It would be nice to play with constraints, basically.
Well, they just decided to escalate the game.
Wind-ups are dead! Not really.
Until they make more. They might. I felt like they just randomly in this newest pack, though, the next one that we're not getting for a little bit.
Yeah.
That they just decided to make things good that, like, we like.
Really?
Well, I mean, we like Fluffle Podcast. And then this pack comes out, no Fluffle support. Oh, no, whatever. Next pack, Fluffle support. Because we made a podcast. And then Justin's like, I play Melodious. So they're like, you know what, Melodious cards.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
Good Melodious cards. Good Fluffle cards.
Yeah, really good Fluffle cards. Really good Melodious cards.
Maybe we can just talk about those.
We can talk about those. What do I want to say about what I was doing? I played Shadolls. And, yeah.
It's his dumb version of Shadolls.
It's not my dumb version.
It's your special version of
He
Shadolls.
takes offense to that.
It's not that special. I'm trying to win.
It's your everyday average version of Shadolls. So why do you call it Shadolls?
Because it's
He went
funny.
to the grocery store. He put all the things that he needed for his soup into the cart. He went home. He dumped it all in. Made soup.
Sickle Shadolls.
No, it's
He's paid a silver
it's
sickle
not.
to them.
I don't know. The reason I think Shadolls, I use Shadolls, or I started picking them up over any of the other big decks, is it's the only one that I thought had any potential relevance after the format ended. Because all the cards are useful outside of Shadolls. While even this new up-and-coming Necros, they're not going to use Necros if they just hit it. Unless they hit it like a tap on the hand.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And then like Clifford's, that's a yeah right. This deck's never going to be good as soon as it's hit.
Yeah.
Because they're so wrapped up in themselves. Same with Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss is like almost... I think it can break out just because it can search a tour guide, but they might as well just ban tour guide at this point. I was thinking about that. You literally go like +2 or 3 every time you summon tour guide. That's retarded.
That is dumb.
Enough already.
You know what card I found the other night?
I like the card.
This card.
That's a funny card.
Dark Mambo.
I
If
hate
you
the
control
name.
3 or more dark monsters, target one face-up card on the field, banish that target. It's funny that you mentioned Abyss.
Is it?
Burning Abyss.
Oh yeah, well...
Do you...
Fish and tricks or whatever.
If you play Dark Mambo when you control Burning Abyss monsters, is it just set spell and traps that
What?
blow them up?
What are you talking
Oh,
about?
no, never mind. I remember
Burning
now.
Abyss.
Enough
You
already.
can't special summon them when you have them on the field, but if they're on the field, they don't get destroyed. I got confused.
What?
Like, you control a Burning Abyss monster, and then all of a sudden you control a spell or trap. And for some reason, my mind was like, well, then you have to get rid of the Burning Abyss monster.
Oh, no.
Like, if you target a Spirit Reaper, it gets destroyed immediately. If you control a spell or trap, you lose
No.
Burning Abyss. But no, you just can't special summon them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't special summon them while you have any spells and traps
That
on the
was
field.
my confusion.
That's not entirely accurate. You can't use their effects and
You can't
special
use
summon
their effects.
themselves.
That's true.
Yeah,
You can special summon them while you control special traps.
That's true.
true facts of Yu-Gi-Oh! But no, I was running Shadolls. There's an article about a pre-iteration of the build I'm probably going to run for YCS, where I run, I guess, Tech. But I don't really consider it Tech because I just assume it's going to be what you're going to have to run. But I'm not sure if it'll be relevant. Cards like Artifact Lancia, main decking like Mistake and stuff like that. Or I'm not sure if those will be immediately relevant at the YCS because this pack just comes out like the day before. But then again, people are too strong at getting cards, so I can't deny the possibility of people obtaining a Necros deck before the event. And the deck is so good that I don't think they'll have any problem winning.
So let me clarify. Kyle is trying to get on the inside track to victory by main decking cards that are effective against Necros, even though there's a chance that he'll never play them.
They're good cards, though.
I mean, they're good. I mean, I like Lancia. Lancia is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then on the off chance I play Infernoids, I'll be like, hey, what's up? I run a card that doesn't let you special summon any monsters this turn.
Yeah. Hey.
And on the off chance somebody plays Deepers, and I'll be like, hey, can't banish my monsters this turn. But no, I was going to run Mistake, but I think I'm just going to run Mind Crush.
I like Mind Crush.
Basically my theory came down to Mind Crush is worse against the deck that Mistake is really good against. But it is good against all the other decks that Mistake is like meh against.
Yeah, it's good in the mirror.
It's usable in the mirror. You could just, every time they get rid of a fusion, you just call the fusion card.
Mistake is awful in the mirror.
Yeah, Mistake's pretty bad in the mirror. But and then Mistake's not very good against Burning Abyss, but Mind Crush is pretty good. Because whenever they try to special one from the hand, you can chain Mind Crush on that one.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Because it activates in the hand, and then it just goes to the grave. And then it can't activate a Sent to the Grave effect because it activated the special from hand effect.
Oh, yeah.
And then you reveal their hand, obviously, which is good.
Woohoo!
And also, when they search Tour Guide, you just get a call Tour Guide.
Oh, that's so good.
That's so much better. You just get that out of here.
How much are these are you?
3.
3.
Excuse me, 3, yes.
It's a good card.
What else?
And it's
Satellar
good against
Knights,
heroes in
right?
case you
Heroes.
find them.
It's all right against heroes. I'll side it out. Mistake is better against heroes. I mean, I don't really want to call Bubble Man. It's not that great. Maybe if I go first and they special a Dark or Mist, I can call Mass Change. But even that's not that great. I'd rather just have the more relevant cards that I have in my side deck. Like I put in Defusions, because that card's good. I thought about maining that card instead of Enemy Controller.
What card?
Defusion.
Really?
Because the main crutch I fall on for why I run Enemy Controller is because I like to tribute my monster when they target it to banish or like return it to the deck or whatever. The fusion, so I can get my fusion back. But I feel like that doesn't happen very often. And I'd rather just, or if I could just main the Defusion and defusion it away, and then have an upper leg in the mirror and against heroes every time I play them.
That makes sense.
But Econ also is like a champion versus Cliffworts. Because they go first, summon something, equip it, and you just take it and attack the game. That's what you got to do stuff like that against Cliffworts with the Shadows, or you'll just lose. You got to take their stuff and attack for game. Yeah. Oh, and it randomly is good against Infernoids because they all have 0 defense, which is funny. I was playing against Riley at Locals, and he was running it. He just attacked with it, and I was like, I guess I'll use Enemy Controller. And he's just put in that spot where he's like, should I tribute my monster because it has 0 defense to banish a card? Or do I just let it die? So that was interesting. It's not like a bad card ever. It just makes you OTK a lot when you go second. Mind Crush is good. Lancia is good against a lot of things, but not other things. The problem with it is I wanted to decide in random light monsters that were good versus every matchup. So I could just swap out my light engine, I guess.
Interesting.
But there's like no way.
None?
There's not enough room to decide for all the ones you want.
Oh, okay.
It's like, it'd be like 3 different light monsters for every deck.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really, really big pool to draw from.
And even if I just go for 2 of the top decks, that'd just be 6 cards. Unless Lancia is the one I'm keeping. But Lancia is good enough against every deck to be relevant. Oh, by the way, Artifact Lancia. Tribute this card from the hand or field and cards cannot be banished for the rest of the turn.
Dang, that's good.
I also contemplated switching to the Artifact build, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to switch my entire deck build right before a tournament.
He was doing work in his one-up deck.
What? Oh, Artifacts? Oh, yeah. One-up deck is... my one-up Shadow deck is really good.
Faced off against my one-up Gemini deck. You're too slow.
Well, the idea behind one of Shadows is that it's all these just 2-card combos that are all really good, and then even just because of the Shadows are floaters and artifacts are good, it turns like almost every spell and trap into either chainable or like a floating spell and trap. So they can't just blind MST still, even in one of, even if you would never blind MST because you only have one.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. You did it. I do it all the time because I have like 5 MSTs in my deck. Because I ran MST, Artifact Ignition, Double Cyclone, and I also run like Lila and Breaker and Dragon. And I go pew, 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 pew. Yeah. But I like that. That's going to be fun. That at our locals the week after YCS is that tournament. What have you been doing, Justen?
For YCS, I'm going to probably use Seth's.
Schick Shadle deck?
It's not Schick Shadle. It's just Shadows.
It's Denko Dolls.
It's Denko Dolls, and I don't like it very much.
I don't like Denko.
It's Feast or Famine. Like, I get the most worst hands.
Denko Seka?
Yeah, Denko Shreka.
I hate decks where I win a lot. Some of the times. I win a lot some of the times, and then I just get garbage hands. Like, hands like MST, Shadow Fusion, Honest, Denko Seka, and like a light Chaos Dragon. I'm just like, why? What am I supposed to do?
Hope they go to their extra deck.
Something.
So do you think Denko Seka, American female or Japanese man?
Check it out.
Wow, why can't it be Japanese female?
No, if it was a Japanese, it'd be a guy.
See if it's categorized under female at the bottom.
But that's not accurate.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like
Do monsters, but no, do action categories.
What?
Okay, no. Now go to miscellaneous categories. Yep, it's female.
But I mean, I feel like somebody could just say that.
No.
We'd have to look at the trivia to see what it's based on.
It appears to definitely have boobs.
Oh, it does have the boob.
Or the technical term, breasts.
Breasticles.
Breasticles.
Click trivia.
Breasticles.
And see what Denko Seka is based on.
Oh, whoops.
Like the lore. You can click it from here or not.
I don't do that.
You go back.
Denko Seka is a pun on Denko Seka, or lightning speed, which is pronounced identically. This card's name itself translates to lightning snowflake. Accordingly, several snowflakes can be seen in this card's artwork, and the monster is holding a sword charged with electricity, and is itself a thunder type. This card bears some resemblance to Getsu Fuma, sharing the same attack, level, and overall design. However, there is no confirmed relationship between the two cards.
So yeah,
Denko Seka.
That's no good.
And the breasts.
The breasticles are.
I think that makes it a female.
Getsu Fuma.
It's not doing it for me. So I'm on the lookout for ways to improve my deck before YCS, and of course I have like no idea how
On
to
that neck pack.
do anything against Necross.
I don't like Denko build because of that same reason. It's so many cards that can combine to bed. And I like the baby dragons. They're all right. But especially if you're running Denko, babies, Dark Armed, and Eclipse, there's so much.
The clog is real.
The clog is real. Yeah, you can brick hard.
I took out Dark Armed and Eclipse Wyvern just because it was awful, but it's still getting really bad hands. So I have to figure out how to.
That's what I was saying about Honest, man. There's no reason. Like, I mean, it's great when it works, but then on top of, you have to have Denko plus fusion material plus Honest for Honest to be reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, but when that happens, you win because you've got Honest when they have to attack over your Denko.
Yeah.
But I don't like that
in the
build.
dream if that happens.
Yeah, You didn't even need the Honest to win. Probably it could have been anything.
I'm hoping to fix that up, and then my one-up deck, I'm thinking it's going to be Injectors, because I've tried like everything else I could possibly try, and it's not working at all.
Good for this deck.
Yeah, I think Injectors is good though, just because as soon as you get a Hornet in the graveyard, every monster is destroy one card once per turn, which is insane in one of.
You got all that recursion, you got that Call to Haunted, and
Call, Pinpoint, Oasis, Soul Charge, card that gets back Dark Monster with low attack.
Dark Eruption.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, shit.
And then infinite number of Injectors.
Earwig.
It's not Earwig, it's just Wig.
Injector.
Okay, but news. but news. So they basically, or should we take a break first?
break, I guess.
Yeah, we can take a break.
Okay, take a quick break and we'll be back with some news. And then the news is what we're going to talk about before we talk about that secret move.
Yeah.
I just thought this was interesting. All these things that got revealed. So the Crossed Souls, which is a weird name for a pack, Crossed Souls.
Yeah. Confirmed. Weird name.
The TCG name, not TCG, the OCG name was Crossover Souls, which is just better.
Yeah.
But ours is called Crossed Souls. I don't know what's up with that.
It's like they don't ask us which one would be
You
better.
can't let the souls touch, Tips.
Yeah. don't let them touch.
Don't let the souls touch.
But they basically revealed almost all of it. There's I think it's 2, maybe 3 cards that didn't get revealed. They got some OCG exclusives.
The Abyssal Prince. I mean,
okay, that card is like I told Matt. Some of the cards in this pack are just bonkers. They are bonkers
Let's
good.
find out.
But they got OCG imports that are amazing. But most notably, Fluffle support that's amazing. And was it Melodious stuff that's really good? It's not amazing. The Water Shuttle fusion. Really
the stupid whale or dolphin
no, it's
thing?
a Trishula.
Oh, that other one was one.
Necros
wasn't
is
it?
We already have that one.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called El Shadol Anomalith. Necros of Sophia. Yeah, they got more Necros
I want to see if it's
cards.
still a goat.
A goat?
Sophia's like a goat thing. What does Necros of Sophia look like?
She's probably wearing Sophia.
What? They don't look similar at all.
What do you mean?
Go to Sophia, the goddess of creation, whatever it's called. It's a goat. It's a ginormous goat.
Oops, that was wrong. Click.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, they had...
It's the same person who's like the dance princess is wearing her clothes.
Yeah. Goat.
You see? No, it's not a goat. She obviously doesn't have that duck face when she puts on her wig and horns.
I put on my robe and lizard hat. I put on my wig and duck horns.
And she's holding the same items in her hand, has the same skirt and hat
So
with
Dance
wing
Princess
head.
is trying to pretend to be Sophia?
They're all like that.
Yeah. Goat. See, Matt, is that a goat?
It's a weird duck
It's a
demon.
weird horse thing.
Horse goat demon.
I've got some news for you. It is the nuke. I said I've got some news for you. It is the nuke.
What? That's crazy.
We'll show it to you on our next one. I haven't seen that before.
I want you to go all horse crazy when you get in there. If you get that reference,
Good for you.
yeah.
Welcome.
I always want to say do something that they can get us back.
Yeah,
Like
comments.
press 1, you know.
You can comment.
Comment
We
that you got it.
Yeah.
But so we get Necros of Sophia. It's really good, but it's really weird. You can ritual summon it with any ritual spell, but you have to use 3 monsters with different types as the
That's
ritual material.
Interesting.
And then during either player's main phase 1, discard both this card, and a Necro spell from your hand, and your opponent cannot special summon from the extra deck that turn. And then when this card is ritual summoned, banish all other cards in the field and in the graveyards. And you can't normal or set or special any other monsters.
That's really good.
Gamezo.
No, you just have a 3600 attack monster, just like when you summon Sophia.
Gamezo. That's a nice way to seal Gamezo.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Well, Sophia, you can't respond to it. This you can.
Yeah, you can just lay there.
Gamezo.
What's it? I'll open the El Shadol monster. This
summon
one is
Gamezo.
very, very relevant.
Oh.
El Shadol
Anomalous.
Anomalith.
Man,
That thing looks awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's text over the card that's not actually on
It's
it.
like a bog monster.
Yeah, it's a level 9, which means you can now use it and Core to make Enterblathner. Very relevant. But it's got the same level, stats, and attribute as Trishula, which is what everybody kind of predicted. It's like Construct mixed with Necros of Trishula.
Crazy.
Fiend, which is weird.
What is going on in this fiction?
It's a strange swamp monster with strings.
I don't understand.
It's a Shadol
It's a
monster.
mix of a Melodious monster.
No.
It's got strings.
Opens that tribute. This card's name.
Oh, I see. That makes much more sense.
What?
Wearing the armor of
This card's
Infernoid
name
Lilith.
is a portmanteau of Anomaly and Lilith, a female demon or spirit from Jewish mythology.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Lilith.
This monster shares its attribute attack, defense, and level with Necros of Trishula and features traces of Trishula's armor on its body. However, this card shows El Shadow Construct wearing the armor of Infernoid Lilith.
What is Infernoid Lilith?
It's another card from this set, I believe. Oh, that thing. Yeah, that thing's crazy. It's the Infernoid Lilith is like the new version, or the alternate component that goes with the big chicken. Anuku. Anuku is the one you banish 3 to summon. That negates spells and traps. This one you banish 3 to summon and negates monster effects. And then when Anuku is special summon, you destroy all monsters. And when Lilith is summoned, it destroys all spells and traps. Yeah, I've never seen an Inferno this crazy.
Oh, yeah. Press 1 if you get that reference.
But El Shaddol Anomalith, fusion of a Shaddol monster and a water monster, like everybody expected. Must first be fusion summoned. I don't know how else you get this on the board. Neither player can special summon monsters from the hand or graveyard with spell or trap effects. And then, when it's sent to the grave, you get a Shaddol spell or trap. Basically, you can't play Necros against this card.
Yeah, that's something that I don't mind bringing back with Falcon.
Well, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's not really good against most decks, which is weird. It's got high attack at least. It's not like that wind one that can't do anything. You can't just summon it because you're like, oh gosh, I need a big body on the field.
Big body with a
But you can just summon this one if you have a water monster. But that's the same problem as here from when I theorized about it, is that there's no good water monsters to fusion with, other than your lone treeborn frog, which is possible.
What about Soft Rock?
Yeah, that's super good in Shaddol's.
What about
The sarcasm, undetectable.
no, just that's a frog engine.
What about Creeping Doom Manta?
Hey, traps cannot be activated when this card is summoned.
Because you would. There's Treeborn Frog. Frog Engine doesn't do anything relevant for Shaddol's.
They let you run Monarchs.
The best. But speaking of Monarchs, we'll get into that later. But the best things I could think of for this was to run the Treeborn Frog, more core, and run an Enterblathner. Because yes. Or run Heroes, the mini hero engine, and add in Ocean or Bubble Man. Probably Ocean.
Hubble Man.
Or I guess you could run Ice Edge. Ice Edge.
Oh, he's good. You get us like Dr. Yugo, champion. You are the champion of the world.
But I don't know. A lot of people were just expecting to be bad after their track record with the last one. Well, I mean, it was like first we get Construct Winda. Yes. And it's like Shekinaga and other guy. There's like
Grishina? Is it Gushy? What's the
Grista.
Grista?
And those are like, these are all right. I can run one of maybe both.
Grista.
And then we get Wind, and it's like, this is bad. And it comes with the other card that we don't want. And so logic would say that this one would be worse than the Wind one. But it's actually good.
How's that possible? The Wind one's completely...
Yeah, how could it be worse? But this one's actually good, so that's nice.
That Colossus of the...
I don't think... Oh, they do get the other Shaddol cards, which is the... What's it called? The Zephyra monsters. But they're terrible for Shaddols, so I don't...
What?
You know, the Zephyra are the... They used to be called, like, Saphira. But the new... The official TCG archetype name is Zephyra. So there's, like, a Stellar Knight Zephyra. There's a Shaddol Zephyra, Yangzing Zephyra,
What?
and there's a Necros Zephyr monster.
Like, seriously, what are you talking about?
You don't remember this? Man, you were here for it, weren't you? Maybe it was those weeks you weren't here. Do you remember Zephyra / Saphira?
No, he doesn't.
Where they're all pendulum monsters that are 2 or 7 from other archetypes. You made a deck.
Long and hard and not...
Oh, yeah.
You made a deck with the Neb and
Fire
Shaddol
monster.
fusion.
Yeah,
They changed their name to Zephyra.
Oh, that's okay.
But they're bad for the actual archetypes, therefore. Except for maybe the Stellar Knights.
Yeah, the Stellar Knight one is decent.
There's 2 for each archetype.
Oh.
That officially were revealed.
Yes, remember.
Okay.
But I don't want to talk about
them.
them because they're bad.
Yeah,
Well, they're not bad. But
It's not a deck. It's not a deck.
it is.
I mean, maybe it is now.
I think it is a deck because they got a lot of good spells and traps. But this card was really interesting. I like this. Crazy. Basically, you never need to run Psychic Commander again because of Yuki Usagi.
She's some kind of
the best level 3 Psychic Tuner. I don't know. It's not Earth, but level 3 Psychic Tuner.
18
light.
Defense.
Yeah, 0 attack, 1800 defense. During either player's turn,
God, it's light.
when a monster effect is activated on the field, or when the effect of a face-up spell or trap card is activated, send this card from your hand or from your side of the field to the graveyard. Destroy the card.
Ah!
That's insane. This is just like the best card ever.
Wow.
Your opponent activates a monster effect. Destroy that monster.
Oh, that's so good.
Your opponent activates Clipboard Scout. Destroy Clipboard Scout.
Get 3.
Yeah.
How can this be?
how can there be so many good cards?
No.
How can this card be so good?
When a monster effect
Open
is
your
activated
eyes,
on the
maybe
field,
you'll
or
see.
when the effect of a face-up spell or trap card is activated.
Hey, when your opponent activates
Just negate
anything,
everything.
No, it doesn't negate anything. It just destroys.
Oh, okay.
Just destroys.
yeah.
Okay, so it's not useful for destroying.
Speaking of things that negate everything, oh my gosh, this card was revealed today, and I was like, this card is way too good. This is an OCG, so it's the last card.
No, why is it
exclusive? This card, there's two.
That's so
Chimera
cool.
Tech Rampage
There's
Dragon?
two Cyber Dragon cards that are
gosh.
so good that there's no way Cyber Dragons aren't going to be tier 1. That's what I was thinking.
This is awesome.
Okay, Cyber Dragon Infinity.
Infinity.
It's a rank 6, same stats as Cyber Dragon. But you can Xyz summon it by using a Cyber Dragon Nova. So you just plop it on Nova, which means 2 level 5 machines. Against 200 attack for every Xyz material, so it immediately has 3, which gives it 2700 attack, and who cares how much defense. And then once per turn, target a face-up attack position monster on the field attached to this card as Xyz material.
Huh.
Good. Must have a downside, right? No. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, detach an Xyz material, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it.
Whoa.
Period. That's the effect.
It sustains itself.
Whoa.
It feeds. It hungers.
It lasts. It's an infinitely producing card.
It feeds and
That
hungers.
is so good.
Yeah, if your opponent fails at getting rid of this by using a monster to get rid of it, then you're just like...
Well, you can just summon your own monster if you need material. I need it.
Right, one face-up attack position monster on the field. It
Feed
doesn't
the
matter
beast.
whose it is.
It's so
Do
absurd.
what the Seahawks couldn't do and feed the beast.
Hey, to sustain infinite power,
Wow.
you need infinite energy.
But this is such an absurdly powerful card.
That was a good one.
That was good.
I mean, I'm hope maybe it'll just be this is like the translation is inaccurate.
No.
But
Yeah.
that I don't see how you missed that. It seems like a really basic effect.
Yeah.
But that is really really.
Tell me more about Cybertech. Chimera Tech
And then there's
Rampage.
Chimera Tech. Yeah, I like that card. It's not as overwhelming as Cyber Dragon Infinity.
Yeah, that's actually not overwhelming looking. It looks weird. It looks like Hellboy, but in the future.
It looks like a Kokimaru, like several Kokimaru cores put together. And
With
then,
the Cyber Dragons coming out.
Yeah. So it's got 21. It's dark.
It's a Dark Fusion for a machine, which is relevant because you can now use Overload Fusion to summon this.
21, 16, same as stats.
Same
Cyber
as
Dragon.
Cyber Dragon, and it uses 2 or more Cyber Dragon monsters as material. Which there's like an infinite number of Cyber Dragons in your graveyard. Fusion summon can only be done with the above fusion material, so you can't instant fusion, sad day.
It's level 5, so that's relevant.
Yeah, that's why I said that. But 5 means you can like summon it and then make Nova and then plop douchebag on it and then win the duel. When it's fusion summon, target a number of spell and trap cards in the field up to the number of fusion material and destroy them. So you can destroy your awesome power plant. What is it called?
You haven't played the
Overload.
No,
Continuous
it's
trap.
It's
Overload
called
thing.
the network.
Network, yes. The Cyber Network. You can destroy that or just blow up everything your opponent has. And then once per turn, send up 2 light machines from your deck to the graveyard. This gains an additional attack for each during each battle phase this turn.
Okay. How they made that one card a faint plan, and now they have to say each battle phase
This
turn.
card can attack 3 times.
During each battle phase. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
In case you get 2, because your opponent uses a faint plan.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
That's not what that card
no,
is,
No,
yeah.
a faint plan is your opponent can't attack defense position monsters.
Set
What card is it?
monsters.
What card gives your opponents 2 battle phases, so they have
It's
to
not
use
over limiter.
It's that.
I've seen the card
You just have to
before.
use that dumb wording every single time. It's like each battle phase, because there's a possibility of having more than one.
Yeah. But no, this card's really good because you just literally summon it for free.
Yeah.
With Overload Fusion now. Now your Overload Fusion now has a relevant target.
What do you mean for free?
Well, it's a 1-card fusion that literally does minimum, was that 6,300 directly? You can only overload into Fortress Dragon previously, which would destroy all your cards, and it can't attack directly or something dumb. Or it can, but it doesn't do damage. Fortress Dragon. No. Chimera Attack, Over Dragon. It's a Cyber Dragon and any number of machines. When this card is fusion summoned, send all other cards you control to the grave. This card gains attack is equal to 800 times the number of fusion materials. Each turn, this card can attack your opponent's monsters up to the number of fusion materials.
Yeah.
Which is like meh compared to the other thing, which always has 21, only uses 2 monsters, but can use more.
It's all going on a rampage.
And instead of blowing up only all of your cards when it's summoned, it can blow up all of your opponents. It's just a better monster than this one. But it also serves all the same purposes.
Let's talk about the Atlantean support code.
Oh my gosh. So both those Cyber Dragon cards are OCG exclusives. Sad day. The next card is also an exclusive.
Yes.
We'll get to those. The Vassals are all Monarch support.
Oh,
Landrobe is so...
that's such a cool name.
Landrobe, I couldn't believe that was a real card. When I read its effect, I was like, this is really good. But Nepta Abyss, the Atlantean Prince, I was just like, are the Atlantean Mermaids tier 1, 2 in Japan once this comes out?
Oh.
It is insane. It's a level 1. Notice that it's an Abyss monster and an Atlantean. I don't know if that's relevant. Maybe you can summon it. Can you summon Abyss monsters, or is it Mermail monsters with Abyss Sphere?
Mermail.
Mermail, so then it doesn't matter. But it looks like a Mermail monster because the Abyss in the name, right?
But you can add an Abyss cards to your hand with Mermail cards.
Is that what it does?
I think so.
That's interesting. But this card's just really good. Level 1, Sea Serpent, 800 attack, 0 defense. Water. Send one. You can send an Atlantean monster from your deck to the graveyard, except for itself, to add an Atlantean card from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of itself. Okay, already that's a little scary, because that activates any Atlantean from your deck, and then adds one from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, target an Atlantean monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And you can only use each effect once. But you can do both of them. Why do they do that now? Why do they allow you to do both now?
Gotcha. It's just better than those other cards. Just better.
But that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like a gun for Atlanteans, except when it's summoned, it's bonkers. Because it just sends Dragoons to the graveyard or adds Dragoons to your hand, one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah. It's just a really, really good card. And
You
it's
can probably
salvaged.
do that first one once per turn.
You can do each effect once per turn.
And if that wasn't good enough, you can also salvage it.
Mm-hmm. And do it again to special summon all of your Atlanteans. You get your Dragoons back forever.
Infinite Dragoon Dragoon.
So many Dragoons. That's scary. Good thing we don't get that.
Kyle doesn't want to think about the
Then, just because Matt brought them up, I think these are really cool. I wish we were getting them. Which is the...
let's talk about Luscious.
They're all good. Most of them are good, except for some reason they made Thestalos bad. I was like, that's Thestalos' vessel.
I only clicked on the ones that had cool names.
Okay.
Mithra, the Thunder Vassal.
I clicked on them all.
Light Thunder, level 2, 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, special summon one Vassal token. Thunder type, light, level 1, 800 attack, 1000 defense, so essentially a copy of this card, except it's level 1.
Yeah.
To your opponent's side of the field in defense position. If you activated this effect, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. If this card is tributed for a tribute summon, you can activate this effect. You can tribute summon one monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summoner set. And you can only gain this effect once per turn.
That's really good,
You can
though.
only use each effect of Mithra once per turn.
So basically,
2 monarchs.
I mean, the ideal, what they want you to do is not what you're going to do. is summon this, summon Zaborg, blow up their monster, and then tribute it for Mega Zaborg, which is kind of silly. But it's still good, because if you have this plus a Monarch and that, what's that called? The one that searches, Unearthing the Monarchs, you get a lot of... I don't know if that card double searches. If you summon twice. I'll look it up. Unearth.
Not even they knew about this.
Is that what it's called? The Monarchs?
It's called Return of the Monarchs.
Return of the Monarchs, correct. Yeah, it's just when you tribute summon a monster, right? No, you can only activate this effect once per turn. So you only get it once, but you still get it. And then it allows you to summon a Monarch and then search for the Mega Monarch and pop it on top of it, essentially. Because you contribute the Mega Monarch with one Monarch.
Plop it out, plop it out.
But that one wasn't anything. Mithra isn't anything compared to some of the compared to Landrobe.
Landrobe.
Compared to Landrobe, they use this in every deck. Vassal.
Landrobe is level 4, 800 attack, 1000 defense, and its effect is it's Earth.
Yeah.
You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn. Also, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that target to face-down defense position. If this card is tributed for a tribute summon, you can tribute one monster with 800 attack. You can target one monster with 800 attack and defense in your graveyard except Landrobe and add it to your hand. You can only use each effective Landrobe once per turn.
What?
That's good.
So target a monster, flip it face down, then summon this, then tribute it. Then because it was tributed, you can get another one?
You can get all of the vassals have 800 attack, 1000 defense. Which is, I don't know, but literally it's just a monster that you can special summon to flip one of your opponent's monsters face down.
Pop it out.
That's really good.
Run 3 of it. This pack's pretty good on.
Yeah, that's good.
But
and now
you didn't do Garm.
We'll go back to Garm.
Garm is really good. But Lucius doesn't have a picture. He's like a little baby Caius going like with a bow. I saw a picture somewhere else, I don't remember.
Lucius.
The Shadow Vassal.
Level 1, 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can banish one level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn. If this card is tributed for a tribute summon, you can reveal all set cards your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation, and you can only use each effect of Lucius once per turn.
This card's really good.
Oh.
You know why?
What?
Because you always activate it last in the chain. You go Caius, Chainlink 1. Vassal, Chainlink 2. Then they're done.
Bottomlessness.
Then you look at their bottomless and you banish it.
That's awesome.
You look at their cards, and then you banish them.
Garm is the wind one. Garm is probably the best one.
Berlines.
Berlines is bad.
It's a bad name.
And it's bad.
It's a bad name. This is like Bird Stratos right now. This is rocking the Bird Stratos.
Alright, 800 attack, 1000 defense, just like all of them. Winged Beast.
Level 3.
Level 3, Wind. You can return one tribute summon monster you control to the hand. Special summon this card from your hand, but if you do, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn. If this card is tributed for a tribute summon, you can add one monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck to your hand, except for Garden the Storm Vassal. You can only use each effect of Garden the Storm Vassal once per turn.
That's really good.
So good. Who cares about Swap Frog? That card's bad.
Oh my gosh. Flip, 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 flip. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, now we can look at Berlin. The one the one you just won't run, because why would you?
Berlin.
After you read it, you'll know why you don't run this.
It looks pretty cool.
You can discard one card. We're not going to say it does. You can discard one card, special summon this card from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck for the rest of the turn. If this card was tributed for a tribute summon, you can look at your opponent's hand and banish one card from their hand until the end phase.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Both of those things are bad.
I know,
you can
discard
something,
is special, so why?
and then you can
Banish a
something at the end of
card
the
not
turn.
permanently.
Yeah.
So it's
During
like
their turn.
you first discard to special it, and then you neg one and tribute it, and banish a card for a not +1.
When they
That's so
won't
stupid.
use it.
Yeah, they're not going to
When they won't, you banish their card right when they won't use it
Yeah.
during your turn.
Hey, now you have
Yeah,
information.
And then they get it back.
That's the same
during
as
their
look
turn.
at your opponent's hand.
I think I'm going to throw up.
Well, I mean, you can tribute. You like go, oh, I hope they don't
Run
use this.
Necros.
No, I want to banish their spells and traps so that I can definitely hit a monster with Thessalos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of setup for the Stalos.
And then they have a field
Back
spell.
Seeing this turn. Oh wait, you just changed it to it. Oh crap.
They have a field spell too. That's also. These are all OCG exclusives, which
The
is sad.
true Monarch Dominion.
Yeah.
They're playing Dominion, but when Monarchs play it, I guess it's different.
While you have no cards in your extra deck, and all monsters you control are tribute summon monsters, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from their extra deck. Oh. If a tribute summon monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, gains 800 attack. For damage calculation only. Once per turn, you can reduce the level of a monster in your hand that has 2,800 attack and 1,000 defense by 2 until the end of the turn.
Huh.
It's really random.
All monsters you control are tribute summon monsters? Oh gosh. Ugh.
You just gotta run pure monarchs.
I know, that's really hard.
This is a field spell. It's called True Monarch Dominion.
Yeah.
You have to know what's expected when you run a card like this.
True
Monarch Dominion.
We can look at the last exclusive, which is Fire King. I don't like when they make Fire King cards because it makes me scared of Fire Kings.
Fire King's Island.
Yeah. It's a good card.
Field spell card.
Yeah.
That's the worst card I've ever seen in my life.
It looks really dumb.
It looks
Why is it
horrible.
Fire King Island?
It's
You
so
tell me.
stupid.
It's just an island.
What makes it Fire King Island?
What's that coming out of the
It's
volcano?
Garunix coming out of a volcano on Fire King Island.
That's crazy.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Jurassic World.
I've never seen a volcano that crazy.
I've never seen a world this Jurassic. Oh no, I didn't know that Yugioh is.
It's not Jurassic World. It's not. Yeah. Is it Jurassic World?
We'll look at it.
Tide on Fire Island.
All around the island is the Atlanteans. Look, that's totally that. Look at that. There it is. Jurassic World. Jurassic World eventually became an island after Pangea, and then it became the island, of course. See, that's what I did. And then I was like, oh, dang, it didn't know.
It didn't Yu-Gi-Oh.
It didn't. Google didn't immediately. Come on, sponsor us.
Are you gonna see this when it comes out, Matt?
Am I gonna sue it?
Are you gonna see it when it comes out? Jurassic
Oh,
World.
Yes,
Jurassic.
of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't
The
you?
day it comes out.
Why wouldn't? Yeah, midnight release.
I want to get too.
All right. Why wouldn't I see a Raptor team? Please.
Team Raptors.
Team Raptors.
They're so smart.
Team
There's even a little lake in the stones and stuff. See that cliff right there? Right there.
You doing some
Oh,
detective work?
see, Jurassic World was in the past. Pangea.
Yeah.
What?
And then Fire King Island.
Okay. Okay, Rock.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, okay, now we know about that. Oops, I closed the...
Look at that. That rock right there is totally that rock right there.
Not really.
Duh. And that little cove right there, totally, like, this
This whole area behind this cliff.
right.
Is it? We're on another island looking at the
like
Jurassic World.
joke.
Another island?
I hope you got what?
There was another island?
Oh no.
Let's talk about what it does.
I'm just talking about Jurassic World. There was another island, guys.
Oh, literally, as I go back to the page, they updated it with another card called Pudding Force. So I'm gonna look at it.
Oh, man.
Whoa, pudding force!
Did I tell you that I played a game that I think that Medolces were kind of based on?
Criminal Girls?
What was it?
It was, it was like the frog or something. I'll look for it.
Criminal
So
Girls.
what
It's a monster right above the extra deck monsters
Criminal Girls. I'm just gonna throw that out there so someone.
called Pudding Force. I don't know what it is
Pudding force.
because it literally appeared there. Okay, we can look at it now.
Someone's holding it.
Card cannot be used as fusion, sync, or exceed material. This face-up card cannot be attributed. During your end phase, you can target a card in your pendulum zone, destroy it. And if you do, give control of this card to your opponent. During your standby phase, you take 300. I love this
I
card.
need to get rid of it.
You destroy a pendulum monster you control.
So I mean, like, how do every other deck get rid of it?
No, they don't.
This is the true can't get rid of monster.
No, you can just dark hole it. No, so you're running. See, now you're running Cliff Forts, and you hate running Abyss for some reason. Why wouldn't you? Because it's a bad matchup. You summon Pudding Force, destroy your pendulum scale, and give them the pudding.
The pudding is yours.
You give it to them, then what?
And then they suffer.
Then they suck.
No, then they have to use dark hole. It's the same as playing Geometry almost.
Except for geometry can be synchroned with.
Yeah.
This card, you can't do anything with it.
Like, the pudding has ball and chains. Why?
You can ritual.
It's about to throw it at you like you're about to be stuck with them.
That's kind of cute.
Oh, that one it's stuck on his head.
Oh, he looks like he's like, whoa.
That one knows how to use this. He's like, yeah.
Kaeru no tame ni kane wa wararu.
Oh, is this the Madolche game?
Kind of, but not really.
I've seen... Wait, this is... Some of those characters are in Smash Bros. Trophies.
It's a game where the princess is named, like, it's
Princess Tiramisu.
Princess Tiramisu, yeah.
She
part of the
rules the Mufuli Kingdom. Yes, that's definitely it.
That's all it is.
That's gotta be true. Okay, next we can talk about these amazing... There's a couple amazing Fluffle monsters. Fluffle Sheep and Fright for Sheep. I was like, oh my goodness.
We'll talk about the melodies after that.
We already have talked about that.
Why did they make a monster based on Leo? But it's bad.
No, it's not.
Edge Imp Saw?
Okay, and then there's 4 Edge Imp monsters.
Oh no, that's bad.
They're all good though.
That's fine.
Except for one's like meh. Okay, so I guess we're gonna look at that one first. Look at this sheet. This card's really good. You use Edge Imp, Chain, and a Fluffle monster to fusion summon it.
These things are ugly. Does it have like... Is that a fish hook? Is that a fish hook right there?
I like to imagine it's like that movie where the person has like a gun for a leg.
It's got a hook for a leg?
Grindhouse, I think.
Yeah, it's like a Grindhouse sheep.
Yeah.
It's got 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense. If this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent can activate cards and send a damage step. Good. And then if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard while it's in your position, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and if you do, it gains 800 attack. You can only use its effects once per turn.
It doesn't
That's really good.
go away.
And then the sheep to go along with it. Yeah, it's adorable too.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Fluffle sheep.
thing looks so cute.
It's a level 2 fairy with no attack and no defense. It has some, but it's irrelevant. Oh, the big screen. If you control a Fluffle monster other than a Fluffle sheep, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can return one other Fluffle monster you control to the hand to special summon an Edge Imp monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. Great. It's just a +1. It's just that +1. And they need those.
There it is. There it is. Oh my goodness.
Would you use this, Matt, in your Fluffle deck? Well, of course you would, but... Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. But you can instantly make a Fluffle Sheep fusion.
You can, which is good.
Or the other one.
And you can get whatever you want from your graveyard, but how do you get all of the different ones that you need in your graveyard? Like all the different Edge Imp monsters, like that's...
Well, first, we have Edge Imp Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
Which is not first, but oh well.
Fake frog.
Tomahawk.
That's a lot of tomahawks.
Yeah, it's got 1800 attack, which is good, I guess.
Yeah, that is.
I got another beater. You can send an Edge Imp monster from hand to your graveyard to inflict 800 to your opponent. And then you can send one Edge Imp monster from your deck to the graveyard except for a Tomahawk, and this card's name becomes that name until the end phase.
That's really good.
And then you can only use each once per turn, which is fine, I don't really care. So it can just send them to the graveyard and become either. Then we got the Chain. I don't remember what Chain does. Oh, Chain is really good. Chain is really good.
Oh my goodness.
When this card declares an attack, you can add it into Chain from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a Fright for a card from your deck to your hand. There is... Okay, Fright for a fusion. Miracle fusion for that deck. So, there you go.
What?
It says when it's sent to the graveyard, you add a Fright for a card from your deck to your hand. And then there is a card in this pack called Fright for a fusion that is literally Miracle fusion for the deck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when this card is sent to the graveyard, you add Miracle fusion to your hand. Great. And it's required to summon the Mega Sheep. And then there's the Saw. I like the Saw.
This is really good.
That is really good. Then there's the Saw. Rawr, it's level 3. I don't know if that matters. When this card is normal summon, send a Fluffle monster from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, then place a card from your hand on either the top or bottom of the deck. And you can only use this effect once per turn. And it's required for that one card, the Fright for Leo. Leo, I think, is just like once per turn, destroy a monster, and your opponent takes damage equal to its attack.
Edgerb Fake Fur.
The Fake Fur is weird. Well, you can search it with.
That looks disturbing.
That's awesome. I like the way that looks.
It's a
Hi.
Edgerb Fake Fur. It's always treated as a Fright Fur card, and then you can target a Fright Fur fusion in your grave that you control or in your graveyard, and this card gains, or its attack and defense become that card's attack and defense until the end of the turn. But the reason they made it is because they made a fusion that requires 3 Fright Fur monsters, and it's not good, so I don't want to read it. What? They got like a bajillion spells and traps. I don't know why.
Let's see.
Fusion Conscription, Fright Fur Factory, Seam Reborn, Fright Fur Fusion,
Seam Reborn. I want to see that.
Fluffle Crane, and Fright Fur Custom. There we go. That's like, was that like 6?
Fright Fur Custom. That Leo looks scary. It's just a saw. It's a bunch of saw blades. The more I look, the more saw blades I see.
Because it's made out of saw.
Right for Leo, level 7, 24, 2000.
Oh, you don't have to use Leo with it, though.
Edgem Son, 1 Fluffle monster. Must be, if Leo's bad. Must
All
be,
right.
It's bad. Must be fusion
got high
summoned
attack.
and can, it doesn't have high attack. You have to attack with it. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned other ways. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. That's pretty good. If this card cannot attack, directly the turn you activate this attack. Oh, this card cannot. Thank you.
At if the beginning of it.
Yeah.
This card cannot attack directly during activate this phase. It's the same as Volcasaurus.
And then you can only use his effect for Leo once per turn. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty games, though. Well, I mean, they did blow stuff up now. Maybe we'll get that one card, the, like, Tiger Chipmunk, in that pack that we get soon. World Superstars. And then there's this one. This one's not that great. It's a fusion of 3 Fright Fur monsters, which isn't impossible with the new cards they gave us, but it's not worth it.
It's ugly. They're all ugly. It's a toy chimera.
It's only level 8.
And it must be fusion summoned and can't be special summoned in other ways. If this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent can't activate cards and do the end of damage step, same as the sheep. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, special summon that monster to your side of the field, but its attack is halved. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card gains 300 attack for every monster you control owned by your opponent. It's not it has to be overwhelming for me to use all that to make it. But I mean, assuming they all are in the graveyard and use Miracle Fusion to summon it, I guess it's the same as that Masked Hero guy. Where it's like, I guess it's good if it's free like that.
Vision Hero?
No.
Maybe?
The one that was from the pack. Contrast Hero Chaos.
Oh yeah, Contrast.
Okay, we got 6 support cards that they got. Fusion Conscription, I guess isn't a support card, but it's just a fusion support card. You reveal it's a normal spell.
Oh, Wind Up Factory. Wind Up Factory incoming, right? Fright Fur Factory?
No.
Oh, dang it.
You reveal a fusion monster in your extra deck, add a fusion material listed on the card from your deck, or graveyard to your hand, but for less a turn you can't normal summon or set or special summon monsters, or activate the effects of monsters with the same name as that monster you added. And you can only activate 1 a turn. But essentially you just fusion with it, right?
Yeah.
Right? This can search any gym monster.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because you were asking for that. Then the Factory. I like the Factory, it's pretty good. Continuous spell. Banish a polymerization or fusion spell in your graveyard other than Diffusion Wave Motion, of course. Fusion summon a Fright Fur fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, target a banished Fright Fur fusion and add it to your hand. And you can only use each once per turn. It reminds me of Toy Pot, where it gets something when it's sent to the graveyard. Maybe it'll run Double Cyclone, who knows. Fright Fur fusion is next, logically, because it mentions it. Death Toy Fusion. That's the Japanese name.
Looks awesome.
It does look cool. I like the little guy going like, wah. And it's literally just, man, that it hits everything. Miracle Fusion for Fright Fur fusion monsters. So you can just activate this and then banish it with the Factory, and then destroy the Factory and add it back. That motion, I like the motion. And the other cards are like meh.
Stop the motion of the ocean.
Then we got the Seam Reborn, literally Monster Reborn for Fluffle or Fright for monsters, but it negates the effect.
Seem Reborn, I like that name.
It seems reborn. And he's like, oh,
Seem Reborn. Seem Reborn, that Chimera.
Fluffle Crane, look, they're so happy out the bear. He's like,
I'm about to get grabbed inappropriately.
There it is. When a face of Fluffle, you control destroy by battle or an attacking monster or by opponent's card effect into the graveyard. Target one of those monsters out to your hand and draw a card. It's alright.
Maintains the stopgap from last turn to this turn.
Yeah.
This is Supercharge.
Supercharge. Yeah, kinda. And then there's Fright for Custom, which is just a trap. You target an edge ember full of monster your graveyard spell to summon it. And if it's used as fusion material, you can treat it as a Fright for monster.
That's a nice name. Fright for.
There's like a saw getting him right in his junk.
Right.
But then again, he's like a toy.
That's good. I
So it's just a reborn. Or I guess it's like Uber Call the Haunted for the deck if you wanted to run Call the Haunted.
Death Toy Custom.
Because it doesn't attach itself to the monster like Call the Haunted does.
Which is nice and chainable.
Nice and chainable. They got all that stuff, which I was like, wow, nice.
It's a nice pack of cool.
We can try running that
Does
deck
that
for
mean
real.
Tier 1?
Probably not. Oh, and then there's two cards that I thought were worth. One of them was that card that I always wanted to run in Lightsworns, but I just assumed they would never make it because they don't
Is it
care.
Snatched Bone?
No, it's called Galaxy Cyclone.
Suck my bone.
Like a
Galactic Cyclone.
Move body like a cyclone, hey, like a cyclone. Wow, wow, wow.
Whoa.
It's a normal spell. Target a set, spell, and trap on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard, target a face-up spell and trap on the field, and destroy it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good!
Release its effect once per turn.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I just remember, I'm pretty sure I've said, I wish there was a way to destroy face-up spell and traps from the graveyard.
Yeah.
And light swords.
Yeah.
And I was like,
We spend all of this time milling, and we don't get anything back. This is the universe giving back to us.
the universe! It's the galaxy giving us a cyclone.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
It moves the universe like a cyclone.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a secret rare in this Japanese pack, which is bad news for us.
Yes, it is.
Job.
And the other card is Jar of Avarice.
Job.
Well, of course, it's a secret rare. They know it's good.
Oh, yeah.
What is the Zephyr?
Huh?
It's those people.
The archetype of everybody's people. Target trap. Target 5 cards in your graveyard except Jar of Avarice. Shuffle all into the deck and draw 1 card. You can only activate 1 per turn. It's exactly what I expected it to be, except it's any card.
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's pretty intense.
I don't know if there's any
Matter
cards you
anymore.
really want back. But I mean, we don't have Avarice, so this is something. I might run it in like Shadows. I noticed that it says you then shuffle all 5 into the deck, so maybe if they crow, it dies.
Yeah, shuffle all 5 into the deck, comma, then draw 1 card. You can't do one out. You can't draw a card after the other.
So I'm assuming that it doesn't. I mean, do you not shuffle any back if they get rid of 1?
It
That's
says
what I'm
shuffle
assuming.
all 5.
Yeah,
All 5. If you can't shuffle all 5, then you don't shuffle at all.
but I think it's weird that it shuffles. Well, I mean, I guess we just got Transmigration back to 3, so that doesn't.
Well, yeah, because getting back cards that need cards in the graveyard is not really very functional.
Oh my gosh, best deck ever. 3 Jar of Avarice, 3 Transmigration Avarice. Transmigration shuffles back Jar of Avarice.
Wow.
And Jar of Avarice shuffles back Transmigration.
Infinite deck. Have we finally created the infinite deck?
There already was an infinite deck.
Don't talk to me about standing top armor.
No, the Gishki hand loop deck.
Do you know how sad the card Where Art Thou is? It's
What?
so sad.
So.
It's so sad.
It's pretty sad.
It's sad that I had that used on me in the last week.
Why? It's not a bad card.
Just I never
Typically a
wanted,
Piper
I
card.
never wanted to see it. It wasn't a Piper deck.
Was it an Exodia deck?
It was. Yeah, it wasn't a good deck.
Was it Exodia Piper?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
How sure? 100%. Okay, so now that we finished that, we can talk about the real thing. The things that we're going to get in the near future.
Just said juice.
So anything you want to say about the Secret Forces?
It's a cool pack.
They're there.
I heard that the ratios are terrible for this pack.
Right.
Like, this is this hearsay, I suppose, but I've been told that there's one. It's like Trishula and Brionica are like Laval Chain and Digust Emerald. Do you remember how like stupid the ratios were for that?
Yeah.
It was like it was one for every like couple boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that you get like one Trishula every 4 boxes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And one Brionica for every 4
Take
boxes.
this
It
with
was just stupid.
the huge, like a boulder-sized grain of salt, because this is like.
I'm pretty
hearsay.
confident that's how it's going to be, though.
No.
I'm very confident.
You're getting the information from someone who has a vested interest in making sure the prices of the cards go up.
So, are you saying that even if that happened, so like if that happened to them, like that actually is the ratio, they're just going to lie and say it's not?
I know I'm saying that if I were him, I would be like, hey, I'm selling cards. I'm pre-selling cards. Wouldn't it be great if I could say something?
Wasn't it like Einstein who said that it'd be the simplest one is probably the right one?
No, it's called Occam's Razor.
Yeah.
And Einstein didn't come up with that.
Whatever. Occam's Razor. There you go. Simplest one is probably the truth. And the simplest explanation is he's telling the truth.
I can't argue with that. But
What's the point?
you have to acknowledge that he has.
I know that he does, but I mean, that's like all these things that... Because most people don't... That's like never happened before where someone lied about the ratios.
What do you mean that's never happened before? How dare you speak in these cliches?
I literally never have recalled a time where somebody has had the pack before it has come out and someone has lied about the ratios of cards.
Every time that's happened, you verified that it was true?
Huh? I've never heard it. I've literally just never heard of that happening.
Okay.
Have you?
No. Then again, I don't remember every single time that it's happened. Or
Because
even
I don't recall it ever happening. So
how many times has it happened total for you?
what?
Just curious. That you heard about from an insider that pack ratios are bad.
I didn't hear that they're bad. I just mean somebody on the inside saying pack ratios. Period.
Okay, how many times have you heard that?
I don't know. Countless. Okay. But I have no reason to not believe that.
Yeah, you're right. You don't have any reason to doubt it. You don't have any reason to believe it either.
Yeah, I do. Somebody has the pack, and they've opened, what is that, cases of boxes. Hi, Matt.
What is Matt doing?
Okay.
Matt is like retreated to the couch and is now.
So the good news about that is, if you don't want to run Necrons and you want cards in this pack, then you won't get them. But if you do get them, they'll be worth buku bucks.
Yeah. I guess that's good news if you want cards other than Necrons.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll get them more often, I guess.
What other relevant things? There's a lot of reprints in this pack that are relevant. Like we mentioned earlier, there's everything is super rare or secret rare. There's a super rare Vanity's Emptiness.
I think it's kind of cowardly that they're reprinting cards in this pack.
Why?
I mean, in Hidden Arsenal, did they reprint anything in Hidden Arsenal?
I don't think so.
Every single card that came out of Hidden Arsenal
was new.
This is cowardly. This is a.
I mean, are you telling me you don't want Super Vanity's Emptiness? I don't know. Some of them are like.
I'm not saying that I don't want him. It's just is this the pack that are they just trying to fill out the edges and not?
No, that's the only one that doesn't make any sense at all.
Vanity's empty. It's just there.
Because it has nothing to do with those archetypes. The other ones are like okay.
We can check it off our list. That's what Konami said.
Yeah, no, but then there's like the Djinn monsters. They're all in there.
That makes sense, I guess.
And there's a ritual archetype that uses them all.
Yeah.
And they've never been reprinted. So it's like, ooh. And then there's all the other one that doesn't make any sense is Abyss Dweller. But it's like boosts water monsters attack, I guess. They reprinted Preparation of Rites, Card D.
Card to D.
Random super rare Fire Formation 10 key. I mean, obviously for Yosenju, but it's a totally random card to reprint. There's an Armageddon Knight to go with the Djinns.
Why is there Divine Wind in this valley?
Because there's that wind archetype. There's 2 wind archetypes in this pack. And they reprinted Manju. That was really important. The reprinting of Manju, Djinn Release Herb Rituals, and Preparation of Rites severely lowered the value of all those cards, which I guess made people angry. I don't care.
Stay mad.
if it was within my power, I would just lower the price of every Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I would be fine with that.
10%.
By everything is no more than $5.
No. You'd have to make all the packs cost like 50 cents.
Okay. That'd be wonderful.
Let's call small ball. Small ball.
There's a super rare world decree in here.
You want that?
I guess. I mean, that and like card T are kind of unnecessary reprints because we already have reprints in good rarities.
It's worth any money before. It's not anymore.
Oh. There's random Gishki cards. Gishki Chain went down in value. Sad day.
Good.
They have another burial from a different
There's
dimension.
some time for you to discover your hidden cache. Just keychains.
Yeah. You can get your super rare advanced ritual art. That's nice. Random Necro Gardener. I don't know why that's in here.
Weird.
Because Armageddon Knight's in here, right?
Yeah, why is that in here? Oh, for the Degens.
For the Degens. And it needs a reprint.
I mean, you dump Necro Gardener with Armageddon Knight?
Question mark.
Necro Gardener doesn't need a reprint.
No, it didn't.
It already got reprinted.
Maybe it has some random synergy with one of the decks in a way that I don't know.
But it's worth nothing anyways.
Yeah.
Level 3 warrior monster.
Nobody uses it for anymore.
Maybe they put it in here so that you could make decks out of this pack. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could. You could run Armageddon Knight in that, which is not a good strategy.
Altitude Knight.
Altitude Knight is the wind one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
really bad. It's the worst of like all of them.
Yeah.
But so for people who don't know, I guess what they do, Yosenju's level 4 wind Beast Warriors. No, they're not level 4.
Music.
There's level 4s that are Beast Warriors, and there's level 6s that are Beasts. That look pretty cool though.
Music.
I like how they look.
I like how Misak looks. I like how Misak looks.
Yeah.
Isn't there a type of music
I'm a
called...
dick.
Isn't there a type of music called Muzak?
No.
Yeah.
Music.
No, no, I'm being serious. Muzak. That's a type of music. It's like the type you hear in like elevators. Music.
I don't know about that. People tend to call that elevator music.
No.
Or jazz.
Oh, goodness. It also has 200 defense. Is that relevant?
200 friends?
200 defense.
No. So they have a strategy based on... they're kind of like spirits. Before they were translated to Senju, I think they had like a spirit in the name.
Muzak is it's a brand of background. No, Muzak is a brand of background music that's commonly seen in elevators.
Okay.
I knew it.
Great.
It's also listed under elevator music.
I don't think anyone doubted you, Justin.
You doubted me.
I didn't care.
I'll jump into that camp. The didn't care camp because it was brought up for no reason.
But
Muzak,
no. We have Misak, Muzak, music. Puns off of the name for some reason.
Great. Okay, they're all wind, and they all return to your hand during the end phase when they're summoned, pretty much.
Do they really?
Most of them. The level 4 ones all return to the hand with a normal summon. I believe the level 6s return to the hand when special summoned.
That's weird.
I don't know if it's all that simple. And they have 2 scales that are weird.
Good.
They have the left and the right scale, which are called Yosenju Shinshu L and Yosenju Shinshu R.
Wait, but could you put the left one in the right scale?
Oh, I don't see why
one
not.
in the left scale? Oh, that's messed up.
No, they're not the left and the right scale. They're the red and the blue. One's a 3 and one's a 5, which is like kind of grody. But
how dare they tell me what to call them?
the left one, the right one.
It's got a demon on it.
The right scale is a 5. It's rock, a wind rock monster.
Wow, that's paradox.
Level 4, 0 attack, 2100 defense. That's good stats. Its monster effect is when it's normal summoned, you change it to defense. And continuous effect. Your opponent cannot target Yosenju monsters for attacks except for this one. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Pendulum effect is once a return, if you have a Yosenju card in your other pendulum zone, you can make this card scale 11. Which apparently that means they can go above 9.
Woohoo!
And make it scale 11 until the end of the turn, but you can only special summon Yosenjus for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field.
Is that the first virtual scale change?
I think there's one in DDD. That just says it increases its level by 1 every turn, or its scale by 1, which essentially means I guess it goes up to 12.
Yeah.
Does it go up to 13?
I guess it probably could. There's no ruling as to why it wouldn't be able to.
Okay, then to L. L is another wind rock monster with 0 attack, 21 defense. And then its monster effect is when it's summoned, it's changed to defense. Continuous effect is your opponent cannot target Yosenju monsters you control with card effects, except for this one. So you have them both on the field. Yosenjus cannot be targeted with attacks or effects. Except for these.
If they're on the field.
Yeah. And then its pendulum effect is if a Yosenju you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. Or you can destroy it instead. Weird. Which puts it in the extra deck where you'll never get it back.
So this card, so their scales can go from 5 to 11.
3 to 11. The 5 becomes 11.
Oh, right,
The
right.
3 is whatever.
Well, then.
And then they all have an effect. The level 4s have the effect that when they're summoned, you can normal summon another one. So you can literally just go 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. They have a really, really good card that irritated me. It was a counter trap.
Irritated them.
It irritated me. It's called Yosenju's Secret Move.
Oh, their secret move.
Time for that secret move. It's up the top by the Yosenju's. The Yosenju Secret Move. It's a counter trap. When a spell trap or monster effect is activated while you control a Yosenju card, all phases of monsters you control are Yosenjus, negate the activation and destroy it. Get that Infernity Barrier.
There we go.
I don't like generic cards like this
There we go.
that are really good.
My secret move was to.
My secret move was something that everybody's done before.
The secret move is to crap on your life
Yeah.
and to say that your deck doesn't work.
And they have a weird pendulum monster. That's called Mayo Senju Dieback. Dieback? It looks cool.
Oh yeah, the spirit thing.
Is there, I guess, boss? It's got a 7, which is interesting because that means you can just like splash it in things for its 7.
Could.
Just a generic
It's not
7.
restrictive.
Its pendulum effect is when you send your monster you control attacks, you can have the attacking monster gain 3 inner attack until the end of the battle phase. Generic, I guess that's alright. Monster effect is you cannot special summon it except for pendulum summon. This card's pendulum summon cannot be negated. When this card is normal or special summoned, target up to 2 cards in the field and return them to the hand. During the end phase, if this card was special summoned, return it to the hand.
That's kind of weird, because if that thing's pendulum summon can't be negated and you're pendulum summoning multiple monsters at the same time, does that mean the entire pendulum summon cannot be negated?
I assume.
Yeah.
Because, like, you try to summon 5 monsters and for some reason this one isn't. Well, I guess no. I mean, you could also rule it that if you torrential tribute something. Well, no, but that's on the field and their effects are being. That's just weird.
You can respond to the summon. You just can't negate it.
Well,
Which means you can't, like, warning all 5.
yeah, that's what that means, because you can't individually pick out a monster.
Oh yeah, when you pendulum summon that's why it's weird. You inherently summon a bunch of monsters all at the same time. That's the only way to do that.
I don't know. I'm no expert, but this looks like a boss monster.
It's pretty good. So when you special summon it, returns to your hand. So essentially, every time you pendulum summon it, it returns 2 cards in the field to the hand, and it can't be negated, and then it goes to your hand. So you just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it ever gets destroyed, it goes to the extra deck where you pendulum summon it.
Yeah, that's cool.
When it's 3,000 attack. But it kind of doesn't do anything related to the deck at all.
Just prevents your monsters from getting negated.
Well, and it's just really good. But I mean, you don't want to pendulum the level 4s because they all have effects when they're normal summoned. But the 6s have effects when they're special summoned, I believe. And then we got this Necroz deck. Oh man. They have a bunch of ritual monsters.
Yeah.
And then there's the spiritual beast.
The Necroz monsters are probably the most complex Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype that I've seen in a really long time.
They have a lot of ways you can do it. So it's like, if you were just to take the deck, you wouldn't ever just come to the deck that's become like the best one without having other people doing the same thing and then you looking at each other making Necroz decks. So it's weird.
What?
Like, I didn't know what we have a good comment on one of the podcast page about what the typical core or skeleton for the deck is and the main play.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they have like a level. I'll go over that comment right now. I think I might just open it literally and read it. He commented on our episode 151, Hero Strike and Masked. Is that what it's supposed to be called? Hero Strike and Masked. It's by Dingo.
Dingo.
Or is it? Okay. So... Okay, I'll just say it myself then. But he gives us a skeleton build of what the typical thing is. And then tells us the main play, which is you open with Manju or Senju, one or the other. And then you open with either Unicorn or the ritual spell that uses the extra deck as ritual material. Is that what it's called?
Ritual material?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, ritual material, ritual tributes, whatever.
Whatever. But, and then so the Manju or the Senju will search for the opposite one, the ritual spell or the Unicorn. You play the ritual, which will summon the Unicorn using Herald of, I don't remember what.
Rainbow Light or Arclight?
Arclight, yes, which is level 4. Unicorn is also level 4. When Arclight's sent to the graveyard, you get to search a ritual spell or monster from your deck to your hand. So you get to search Colossalus, the level 3, Necros of Colossalus, the level 3 ritual monster. And then you exease both those guys together for Laval Chain. Laval Chain detaches the Unicorn to send Dijin, releaser of rituals, from your deck to the graveyard, because you run one Dijin in the current build. It might change to 2 later. I've seen the Japanese builds once, because in Japan, Unicorn, Manju, Senju, and Preparation of Ice were limited to 1, essentially to prevent this combo, I guess. But now they just go, you just want to open Colossalus and like Mathematician or Colossalus and Tour Guide in the new build. But Colossalus, you can discard it to add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand.
You want to, Trishula? Yes!
So you discard Colossalus to add the ritual that ritual summons a ritual monster from your graveyard. And so you add that one to your hand, you have the Laval Chain, Dijin in graveyard, Colossalus in the graveyard. You activate that to ritual summon Colossalus from your graveyard, and then you banish the Dijin as the ritual material or whatever. And then now you have a Colossalus in defense. So it's 2300 defense, and while it's on the field, your opponent can't special summon monsters. And you did that with 2 cards.
Not cool.
And now your opponent gets to go, and then there's a very limited number of ways to get over that. And if they have a Trishula in the hand, so you can discard Trishula to negate any card that targets the Colossalus.
Dark Hole.
Yeah, that's why. So the TCG kind of has like a strange upper hand, because we have double Dark Hole and Regeki, and Japan doesn't.
Oh, yes.
And in Japan, they would side Book of Eclipse, or main, because you can use Book of Eclipse. They can't negate it with Trishula, and then their monster's not face up, blah, blah, blah. When in the Dijin release of rituals in this pack, they errated it. So now that if you take control of the monster, it's just while it's on the field, the opponent can't special summon. So it doesn't change to, like, now the other person can't special summon. So if you snatch steal it, you still can't special summon.
Good.
I don't think that's good. I think that's bad. I don't know. I've always not liked ritual decks that use the Dijin release or ritual.
Against me.
Because I don't like that cards. It degenerates the game a lot.
It's my gun. Why can you shoot me?
Because unlike more legitimate floodgate cards, it doesn't have a condition to remove itself. Like, they started doing that now where if it has a really good floodgate effect, there's some way to make the card blow itself up on most new cards. I don't know the reason why I don't like Skilled Ring. But that's like their main go-to thing on their turn 1. And then, like, if you don't do anything about it, they just start, like, dropping Trishulas on your face. Because they can.
They can do it.
They can do it.
Who's going to stop them?
Not you, was you're not special summoning.
Kaiko the Ghost Destroyer is going to stop them.
Kaiku is pretty good. Or Artifact Lancia. So when they activate, in that combo, you can do that at a lot of points. I would probably do it when they activated the Wonder Ritual from the graveyard to summon the Colossalus. And then if you chain it, they can't banish the Dijin. And then they have to use either a monster from their hand or have it fizzle. But if they do have a level 3 or like Shred who counts as the whole ritual, they have to use it, and they ritual summon a like Colossalus that is pointless, which is good for you.
Pointless.
And if I'm running what's it called, Six Shadles, they now have a level chain on the field, and I can activate Shadow Fusion, and I'm happy from the deck. That's like the idea of running cards like Lancia. It prevents them from doing first turn lock. You can also, if you have a Mind Crush set and they activate that one, and you assume they're summoning a Unicorn, you can just call Unicorn, and it'll discard all their Unicorns. Or you could do it on their ritual spell. That was weird.
Oh, it's an ambulance.
And then Trishula is literally Trishula. Important ruling for people who don't know. It must banish one in all of the 3 locations, or it will not activate.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a couple, like Rob is probably going to run, what's that called? Reversal Quiz OTK. And one of his, like, you'd think Trishula would be good against troll decks like that, but then he can just not have a card on the field, and then it won't be able to banish anything from his hand. Or he'll just activate cards, when, like, say they have a ritual spell, activate all your traps, and they activate it in case it's summon Trishula.
That's pretty good.
And then they do it anyways, and they try and take your hands, and you're just like, hey, don't touch my hand, judge! Judge!
Or, like, if you're running Mind Crush, you can Mind Crush Trishula if you don't want them to summon it. If you're running Shadows, you can summon the Earth Fusion, which is really hard for that deck to get over, technically. Because their only out is to banish it with Trishula, which it will negate. Dark Hole. Well, I mean, every deck has Dark Hole. Or they can summon a ritual monster and use Justice. What is it called?
Justice.
I don't know. Decisive. Necros of Decisive Armor, which is like a Kalute for 1,000 attack and defense. Or it's like 3,300 attack monster. So you can just attack over it. And then they have like one more. I don't remember what their other ritual card does. Is it just generic?
Yeah, I think so.
There's the extra deck, there's the graveyard, and then there's one more, which I feel like. Oh, and then there's the one that can do more than one monster.
Oh, yes.
That's what it is, I think. Or no, the extra deck one does more than one monster, doesn't it? Yeah, the extra deck one lets you summon any number. So then what does Necros Mirror do?
It is just generic. Banish it from the what?
Oh, then that one allows you to banish materials from the graveyard. So that's another way to use the Lancia, is if their only option is to use the graveyard. Huzzah!
So they activate this, and you're like, Lancia. Nothing.
Hopefully it makes them go neg, even though the ritual spells don't go neg ever, which is annoying, because they can just banish to search.
This deck is really good at making sure that if you play it arguably well, you don't lose advantage from you doing things by yourself. From you self-touching, it's really hard to accidentally mess up and lose advantage.
Well, if the opponent ever 1-for-1s with a card, like negates it, or just 1-for-1s, they literally don't 1-for-1. Because every card instantly can replace itself if it feels like it, which is kind of annoying. But then again, that's where Yu-Gi-Oh is. And then we got these ritual beasts, which are these are some.
They're the pets.
Yeah, there's the ritual beast tamers, then the spiritual beasts, and then there's the ritual beast ulti. I haven't really read most of these. I just know that they fusion by contact banishing.
Yep.
And I've heard that they move a lot, but I've heard their boss monsters aren't very spectacular.
They get out of the jam. They cut to the quick.
But they're all like low attack. They don't destroy cards, I don't think.
They swoop.
They're kind of adorable.
I love swooping.
They all have really like effects that you'd read them and be like, in the past you'd be like, holy nuts, that's like pluses. I'll open the other ones first.
The Tamer.
I just liked her face. She's like, oh.
Ritual Beast Tamer. When?
When?
When am I going to get...
When Dingo?
Wind, Psychic, level 3, 1500 attack, 1000 defense. If it's normal summoned, you can target one of your banished Ritual Beast monsters and special summon it. And then you can only special summon one Ritual Beast Tamer when?
Per turn.
Once per turn.
I believe all the Ritual Beasts say you can only special one of them per turn. I'm pretty sure. Because it's really easy to special summon them. Yeah.
Well,
they all say you
all
can
the
only...
Tamers?
No, all of them.
Oh, all of them.
So you can only special summon it once per turn. Then we got Elder, who doesn't look as cool.
Wind, Psychic, level 2. And after you normal summon it, you can normal summon a Ritual Beast monster during your main phase this turn.
In addition to your normal summoner set.
And you can only activate that once, and you can only special summon it once.
Lara.
Lara, give me your best.
For some reason, she's just got good stats.
Wind level 1 psychic, 100 attack, 2000 defense. And if it's normal summoned, you can target one ritual beast monster in your grave and special summon it. And then as the can't special summon multiple times effect.
What do we do from there? Then we're probably going to summon the spiritual beast, right? Maybe?
Ritual beast, Canahawk.
I need spiritual beast.
Or spiritual beast, Canahawk.
Yeah.
Thunder Wind, level 4, 1400 attack, 600 defense. Once per turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your deck face up during your second standby phase. After this effect's activation, add the banished card by this effect to your hand, and you can only special summon it once per turn. That's okay.
It's weird.
And then
the crappy dolphin.
Spiritual Beast, Pedalfin. Yeah. Wind Aqua, level 4, 0 attack. 2000 defense. Once per turn, you can banish one Ritual Beast card from your hand, then target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand.
Oh.
You can only special summon blah 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 blah.
Okay.
It's weird. Where are we going with this? I'm not sure. Then yay!
Spiritual Beast.
Is this the first wind pyro monster?
Spiritual Beast Apelio.
I like to call it Apelio.
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 I called it Apelio because it's funny. Sergio Apelio. Apelio.
Well, 1800 attack, 200 defense, level 4 pyro wind.
Getting all Western.
Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard. For the rest of this turn, all Ritual Beast monsters you control gain 500 attack and
It's alright, he's a
defense.
beater. A reasonable beater.
Go beat.
Yeah, he goes up to 24
I mean,
by
but
himself.
then again, I'm looking at the perspective of Yugioh like 3 years ago.
And, yeah, true. These don't do anything to anybody today.
Currently, those cards have done nothing to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Then we got these, the things that make the deck thing.
The Ritual Beasts.
Ultis.
Ulti.
The besties.
They're alt forms.
They're all a fusion of a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast monster, and they are all summoned by banishing the fusion materials from the field.
Yep. The Alt Leo.
Alti Apelio.
Alti Ape Leo form with, like, he has, like, a face now. It's horrible.
Oh, freak! Oh my
2600 attack,
How could you
400
stand riding
defense.
such a freak?
If this card attacks, it's unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step, and then during either player's turn, you can return it.
What happened?
You can return this card you control to the extra deck, then target 2 of your banished monsters, 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Ritual Beast Monster, and special summon them in defense.
I like that that's a quick effect.
Do they all have that effect?
I
think
believe
they all
so.
have that effect.
They all have the quick effect to just unfusion.
Yeah.
But they can unfusion into other things than the fusion material.
Let's be clear about one thing. This thing is decrepit.
So how about this? They have a mount and dismount.
Exactly.
You mount them, and then you can dismount.
Yeah.
They have a dismounting effect.
And then you dismount them, and then when you dismounted what you were once riding a horse, now is a bird.
And you're now a man.
You're now a man.
You are now a man beside a bird.
Yes.
Look down, it's a horse. Look up, you're fine. Look down, it's a chicken. Look up, you're now a man. So
Smell like a man.
this thing's effect is this card attacks and it's unaffected by other card
Armades.
effect.
No, it's not Armades. It's worse than Armades.
Ghetto
It's
man.
unaffected.
The ultimate dolphin,
I remember we read this before.
yeah, 200 attack, 2800 defense,
The ultimate
and
dolphin.
it can't be destroyed by card effects, and then it has a dismounting effect. And then
Why is it the ultimate dolphin?
Danger Bird.
the bird. Its effect is once per turn you can target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, add a Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. That's horrible.
What are you doing with this deck?
This is Seattle's favorite bird.
What?
The Alti Cannabis Hawk.
Oh. Oh, great. See, the problem with this deck is I don't know what you do.
That's thinking about it.
You end your turn fused into the dolphin. That's all that I know.
Why is it called Alti?
Always.
You end with the dolphin in defense mode.
Pedofin.
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 Look at that girl right
Okay, then they have a spell, and then they have a trap, which must be how they win, right?
Right.
Spell. Banish.
Hold on. The thing about the bird is that it doesn't do its bad. Like,
Smoke
once per
weed
turn,
every day.
you can target 2 of your banished ritual cards and put them into the graveyard
Ritual
where
beast.
you don't want them.
But I mean, like literally, you fused using them. They're banished, and if you need to search for a card,
Mm-hmm.
so you could search for the spell trap, which are going to win the game, right? They must.
Well, no, even if it's fine if they're banished,
Please, Kyle, tell us more
because
about
you
the
just get them
spells.
back.
Oh no, I was wrong. That spell is terrible.
So the spell is banish 2 ritual beast monsters you control. A special summon 1 ritual beast monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Why? Who cares? You get them however you want anyway.
No, so you can do it in your opponent's turn.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
quick play
that's true.
spell.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's like a
Next,
fusion.
this one has to be it. Ritual Beast Steeds.
Steeds, dude.
Steve.
You're right, you do ride on them.
Yeah.
They're steeds.
Yeah.
You got it.
Normal trap. If you control a Ritual Beast monster, destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you currently control. Okay, that's alright.
That's good.
Is it? Yeah,
Yes.
I guess.
I mean, it's alright.
Yeah, you're right.
You can search it for free every time you summon Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm.
Steeds.
And that's the deck? How do you do? How do you do with this deck?
You add a lot of filler.
But where do you go?
You go there.
I mean, you might as well add in Shadows and summon Wendigo.
Face Leo.
It'll be just as
You
good.
summon
See,
Face Leo.
that's why Wendigo's so bad. It's because it's based on an archetype that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Ape Leo. Ah, he doesn't even have an ape face.
The only thing that I've heard from people
Mm-hmm.
was that you can summon Totem Bird in this deck.
Yeah, good for us.
Good for Totem Bird, another low attack monster that's not that helpful.
Yeah.
But Totem Bird's cool.
Can I just
So that was the pack.
forget about this?
No.
Just let this pack sink into irrelevance. Once everybody has a Necros if they want.
Necros. Oh, there's the Baby Kai's picture for you.
Baby Kyre.
Ooh,
See? Baby Kai.
it's got that ball. It's like chaos. Control.
I can't even
Chaos.
see like what it's doing.
Control.
It's holding a ball in its hand of darkness. Maybe there's
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's cool. I get it.
There's a
Chaos.
I get it. That's cool.
Control.
Baby Kai.
Chaos. Control.
Okay. So we'll take a quick break and be back with the comment questions.
Chaos Bomb. Hopefully it's better this time.
Maybe. First, I guess we'll go to iTunes first. We got Johto the Turtle. This is a great podcast. Really good, that's all. Then we also got Chad Week. He says, Queek. The commentary and banter is great, but the audio quality is getting to the realm of ear torture.
I blame Brett Favre.
Why?
Oh, what? Oh, for something completely unrelated. For this, I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be working on it.
We are attempting something new, and new things always come with new consequences.
Yeah. So we're working on that. Next one, comments on the last podcast. I don't believe there's any other ones that were made. Yeah. I just making sure
Oh, I
that was
see.
the only ones that have been made. There was the one I mentioned earlier about the Necros and basically the skeleton of the deck and basic plays. If you want to know about that, you can check out that comment. It's the first comment, so it's a good comment. Just so you know. But our next comment is Drew Davis, a common replier, commenter. He says, do you think the days of slower formats are all but finished? Every set releases new, faster stuff that does more and more for less investment. I miss the days of slower games where you have the opportunity to play more and interact with your opponent. But here is the question I fear is true. Do you believe that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on the way out? Locals in my area are less than 50% of what they were. I see almost no new players or young players. How are things in your area? And do you believe Yugs is coming to an end?
Loopholes. That's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in our area.
It's what? Loopholes?
Wait for a second. Kyle will get it eventually.
I know.
Kyle.
No, there's a kid at our locals. Gosh, it was pretty painful.
Yeah.
He kept trying to tell me. He asked me how he could change his deck to get first at YCS.
Or
He's like a little kid.
Make it to day 2.
Oh, make it to day 2. And basically, the only way to not lie was to tell him he wasn't making the day 2. I didn't say that. I didn't say you're not making the day 2.
Wanted to do it with a non-tier 1 deck.
Yeah, I don't know. We basically all had to keep telling him, like, you gotta play one of these decks, and he kept going, there's gotta be a loophole.
Wow.
There's got to be a loophole, and then Ricky's like, what TV shows has he been watching? And stuff like that. But, no, there's no loopholes. Format. But,
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh's gone to the point to where kids are looking for loopholes.
yeah, there's not, kids can't play competitively. It's impossible right now.
It sucks. But it is what it is.
I don't expect this format to get slower anytime soon. If you want it to get slower, I suggest making up your own formats.
Take a peek.
That's what Magic players did. They started making their own formats, and then eventually the people who made Magic recognized them as real formats.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And I suppose if we do that enough, I'm pretty sure Konami would do the same.
But as you saw during this podcast, we took a look into the future, and the future is crazy.
The future is more crazy. Horse crazy. Yeah, it's just going to get quicker, faster. I mean, there might be a lull compared to this eventually, but it'll probably just get faster from there.
This new format is like perfect circle control.
Yeah.
You've heard of perfect circle, right? This is like the next evolution of perfect circle. Perfect circle chaos control.
Perfect circles probably wouldn't even be able to compete. That's what I feel like.
Are you sure?
It's not like, I mean, 3 Stratos and
I don't like do anything.
it doesn't offend any of these decks at all.
All it does is like give you perpetual advantage, and it doesn't mean that you like get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I've already explored perpetual advantage with Fortune Ladies. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you just get cards that tell you deck out and lose.
Yeah. It feels really good.
It scares the opponent a little bit because you get all these cards, but then, unfortunately, when you build the deck to draw cards like that, all you draw into is cards that continue to draw cards.
I call that, the Fortune Lady deck I called it the Succubus deck. Because you get this perpetual advantage, you feel great, you feel amazing, but then you get like sucked dry and you have like nothing, and you don't do anything, and you lose. And you die.
So it turns your opponent into a succubus.
No. The deck is a succubus.
Oh, it sucks you dry and you lose.
Yeah, it sucks you dry, gives you everything you want, but it's not actually anything. You lose. You just feel really good because you draw a lot of cards.
Well, my opinion on do you think the days of slower formats are all but finished? And I think the answer is yes. One reason is that Konami has done everything recently. Well, yes, I do. Konami has done everything in their power recently to add like as many comeback options as they possibly can to the game. They added pendulum summoning. You pendulum summon, you win. They added soul charge. Soul charge, if your opponent doesn't do anything, you win. They added like a bunch of cards to different archetypes that allow them to either summon a bunch of stuff or summon a big monster that is really hard to get around. They're creating a bunch of new cards that allow you to have like complete control over every single thing that you're doing. So it just seems like if you want a slow format, not only can you not put a bunch of cards in the game that make the format faster, because, I mean, now in the future, if we ever want a slow format, they have to, like, limit and ban and move to some other area. Like, it's impossible to go back to it.
You're talking about this. No. So you're talking about slow format like it's rev. I hated slow formats. Slow formats are as bad or as worse than fast formats. Because, Kyle and Kevin were doing their Go Control. Go Control was, good stuff. I could tell who was going to win by turn 3. It was just a slow, inexorable grind down to nothing as one person got advantage and the other person couldn't recover from it, and they slowly lost until they just.
What about 1-up format? That's slow. You don't know who's necessarily going to win.
I like 1-up format.
But I mean, that's different. There's more cards. That's why you know who's going to win because it's so developed. There's nothing you can do.
So for me, the difference between a slow format and a fast format, I guess, is a fast format is you don't lose in one turn because someone gets into an unfair, powerful situation.
Unplayable game state.
Well, I mean, at least in slow format, you know that when you earn your victory, by turn 3, by doing some kind of play, you are gonna keep it because there's gonna be nothing they can do to come back.
I mean, you can still do that in a fast format.
What?
You can still do that in a fast format.
Not really.
Yes, you can.
You can say that you're going to keep your advantage no matter what over the course of 5 to 6 turns.
I feel like that's what happens every time Burning.
Lose.
I feel like that's what happens every time Burning Abyss loses. Is they've lost like 10 turns before
Only
they've
after
lost.
grinding.
Because they always have the option to not die because of their inherent stall abilities, and that's what happens when you're playing against that deck is they lose, and then 5 turns later their life points go to 0.
They're a throwback to the good or the bad old days.
No, they're not.
I mean, there's an element of skill to that too, though. The idea that I don't think they're a throwback at all. The element to the idea of that, like you
Not
win
the
technically.
actual format, but like the idea of slowly losing.
Oh, I guess what a throwback to that.
That's the thing that I observed during like Go format. It always almost always happens.
An element of that is that it also requires skill for you to maintain that obvious winning position. Because like, if you're not good, you will lose that position by not being good. That's the point.
Are you saying that people are bad are winning now?
You can win by being bad. There's a lot of pain to win right now compared to previous formats.
I think that in a slower format day, you might have to cut off your arm to save the rest of your body. Like in a slow format, you might be losing now, but you wait enough and then you plan for like a specific amount of situations to happen, or you draw to certain kinds of cards, then you plan for the future. In a fast format like we have now, someone cuts your arm off for you, and then you can't
You can't put it back on.
you can't
And while you're
wait.
reaching for your other limbs, they cut them off.
You can't wait until later because they're just going to keep doing so much that there's no, like you just might lose the turn that they cut off your arm, or they might finish you off like the next turn because there's nothing you can do.
Persuade you to cut your own arm off.
Yeah, there's like no time for you to even plan ahead because they'll finish you off way before that even matters.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
reason to
like-
plan ahead.
This reminds like White Swords, the deck
Unless
that
you're
was
using a
previously
top-tier
fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the format's so fast that that deck either has to open broke or lose. That's what I feel like when I'm playing one of the good decks.
Mm-hmm.
Is like fast old decks can compete as long as they open like ideal every time.
Well, yeah, it's either open wombo or lose.
Yeah.
It's either all or nothing.
It's a different type of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. There's no inherent problems with it. I just preferred the original. I don't like the idea of being forced to play specific decks, though.
At least it's fast. Well, I mean, at least a victor is decided like immediately, and you don't have to like. Well, even now,
But
even
the
then, duels take forever.
Duels
I
take
don't
forever
understand
because
why.
people just think longer. Like
No.
Dragon Ruler mirrors took notoriously long because there was a ludicrous amount of options you could take, but the game would be over in like 3 turns, but you'd go into time in a match.
Which is weird.
And it's similar now where it's just like there's so many things that both players are capable of doing to each other that you have too many options to like take into account, and then one false step loses you the duel because it's so fast. So it's like if I don't think about this really hard right now, I could just lose the duel next turn because the format's so fast.
To go to the second question, do you believe Yu-Gi-Oh is on the way out? I think that I don't have enough like locals or tournament play anymore to really comment on that. However, I can bring the perspective of like the broader spectrum of card games. Do I believe Yu-Gi-Oh is on the way out? Yes, probably, technically. I mean, compared to Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have as much player interaction. Compared to digital card games, which are on phones and on computers, they don't have as much as many updates, and again as much player interaction, and as much of a variety of who can start playing and how fast. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, right now, if you want to get competitive, you're going to start out pretty bad if you don't have a lot of experience with card games. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is the best card game for newer players to
No,
learn.
it got really not helpful. Well, like I was saying, there's like an infinite number of things you need to be thinking about. Like new players can't do that. Plus, they don't have the money to like go into that, and they're not really releasing things except for on a scale where it's like pay a bunch of money for the whole deck and get it. They're not releasing like you can get this and like play that and be all right.
Which you could argue is fine for like any card game, or is similar for any card game. You start out playing Magic. The Magic format is probably going to have. Well, no, I mean they do set rotation, I guess, in standard or advanced or whatever. But let's say they have a bunch of cards that they've been using forever, and gaining the knowledge on how that whole system works is going to be maybe a little bit more difficult. But
It's not easy to immediately jump into competitive.
All
at
I can
least.
say is that Yu-Gi-Oh has atrocious rulings. Just like absolutely unintuitive, convoluted rulings with every card interacting with every other
Well,
card.
the cards just keep getting more and more text.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting looking at Magic cards which still have like almost nothing written on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they release a card that's like infinitely not complex compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's new, but it's interesting.
In order for a card to be good.
It needs to do more, I guess, now.
A Magic card is a Magic creature is a card effect, and a Yu-Gi-Oh creature is a card effect and its own resource.
Mhm.
Like in Magic, they have mana, and then they have creatures. In Yu-Gi-Oh, like a creature is.
They need clauses and stuff to facilitate their power of the effects and summonings,
Mm-hmm.
which take up card space.
Mm-hmm.
And mind
And then to make a card more powerful, it must have more text to facilitate itself,
Yeah.
I guess. But
So with the amount of things that Yu-Gi-Oh is now competing with, I think that the player base for Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot more interesting options to distract themselves with. Plus, Yu-Gi-Oh is just like hemorrhaging opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
It's bleeding out things that it could be doing.
it's systemized itself a lot, where it's just they've gotten to this like kind of like groove of how they're making cards,
Mm-hmm.
and they like you're saying, they're just losing out on opportunities for things that could be interesting that they're just not going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Time for some septic shock. You know what that is?
That sounds
A
disgusting.
shock to your septic.
No, it's when your
Septic
bloodstream
shock.
gets
How about
like.
a shock to your septic?
No, it's when your bloodstream gets like infected with like contaminated blood and stuff, and it's called septic shock.
I will say that there is a more widespread discontent among players than previously.
Yeah, you made
Like,
a-
I mean, people have always been like,
You made a hemorrhaging pun. You mean you made a what's it called?
Blood-based pun?
I made a
Wasn't
static
pun,
shock
was
pun.
Was it a metaphor?
Illusion?
Illusion.
No, well, it was a metaphor, yeah.
Yeah, a blood metaphor.
No, I did not make a metaphor because I was using the word correctly.
Well,
Hemorrhaging means to
Yeah.
lose even though you're trying to stop losing something. Like you put a hand over a wound or something, but you're still hemorrhaging blood. You're still losing blood outside of you trying to stop it.
Yeah. So what
I
is
guess, I
what,
don't know.
what is it called when you're using a word correctly like that? Is that similar?
Talking?
No. An illusion, I guess it would be.
I don't know.
Alluding to that? No.
That makes
I don't
sense.
But
don't
you
know where we
did
were.
a blood illusion. I did a blood illusion.
know. Yeah.
Magician did a trick where he had something with blood and it was a blood illusion.
Nice.
Uh,
So have you
That was
noticed-
a pun.
So Kyle, you said that you've noticed more discontent.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's always people who are like, gosh, this format sucks. This is so annoying. I'm quitting. There's always people like that. But I feel like, despite people not really, like, quitting, there's a lot of people who think, man, this competitive format sucks. More than I've seen in the past.
I feel really detached from Yu-Gi-Oh right now because
Because you are.
like Shadows and Clifforts and Necros are all like really, really serious archetypes. Like you're gonna start playing these, you're gonna go pro.
You're serious.
Like the Shadows are all based on like a bunch of different archetypes, and we like this archetype like stole a bunch of monsters from all across Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's trying to go somewhere. And Clifforts is like it's the best pendulum archetype that we have right now, and
Yeah.
it's got all this searching. And you're gonna do this one thing, and you're
Necros
gonna
is
win.
that new
Rise
tier zero
golden
hotness.
ship to
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah, that golden
Necros,
ship.
each monster has like 3 effects, and it's everywhere.
Oh, and it's based on all these old monsters that were broken and banned.
Yeah.
Now they're back and they're wearing different clothes. That's a bad.
So it's like, you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Let's go, man.
And they're all
Let's-
anime and
Let's
stuff.
do this. Come on and win.
Now, weeboo,
Try and come
Anime.
back from this.
Desu. What about Burning Abyss?
And then there's Burning Abyss, which I'm not really including because it's a TCG.
Well, it's just like, and we made this archetype just for America that's broken as crap.
I like
problem
Burning
with
Abyss.
them-
I like the lore behind it.
I don't like that they don't really have anything to do with the Burning Abyss or the poems.
I don't.
Other than that
I wish
they're
they would
from
do
it.
other. I wish they would include other parts of the Divine Comedy.
Other than the
Didn't-
Malabranch.
Yeah, other than the Malbranch, because there is so much more they could.
Well, they've got a year or so.
To me, all of those archetypes really aren't different from each other. Like, they seem contrived. The reason why Clifforts are good is because they use the Pendulum Zone better than anyone else can.
Yeah.
They use a resource that is completely unavailable to every other deck, which I hate.
And then everything that they do Meta Knight syndrome like. You just keep doing things.
They don't.
It's good.
They don't lose advantage any of those decks at all.
And Shadow's is kind of the same. They just do a bunch of stuff, and it's good. They fuse, and that's good because
I miss the good old days when a monster like you read the name and like its effect like coincided.
Yeah.
El Shadow Wind.
Why does Squamata flip summon and destroy a monster? Like why? Like a man-eater bug. I know why it destroys a monster when it's flipped because it's a man-eater bug.
4-star Ladybug of Doom.
Yeah.
It kills things that have 4 stars on them.
Oh my gosh! Like I understand now. That's really epic.
But even like nowadays, it's just like cards don't have like there was archetypes that made sense like Insectors. They would like equip themselves as a weapon. Because they were the Hornet, and then this one, the Dragonfly, it swarms. It swarms, and then Centipede has many legs. Like they all made sense. They did what they name said, but now Windups almost did it.
They were starting to branch away from that.
Yeah, they started getting Shark, and it's like, why did Shark do this?
They both I like Necros because they can ritual summon using materials from the extra deck, using monsters from the extra deck as materials. That's really interesting.
They have novelty there.
I like that. That is novelty, and that is cool. And it's something that's been around forever that nobody's done, and then they get to take advantage of it. I think that's cool. But all of these archetypes are just like do a bunch of stuff and win, kind of. I mean, Shadow's, Burning Abyss, Clifford's.
Yeah. I was talking about that. The whole cards not doing what they seem like. Like why do? Why? That doesn't even make sense. How do you tribute a spaceship? And why, when it's tributed, does it return a card in the field to the hand? Why?
That's a good question.
Why does it do that? That doesn't make any sense.
That's a good question.
I mean, I understand, disc, it summons 2 more spaceships from your deck. Warping in. But then, why does this spaceship attack twice?
The carrier had poison gas on it.
Why does this one, when tributed, destroy spells and traps? Why can they be normal summoned with that? Why?
At least stealth makes sense.
Because you can't respond to its effect, and it returns something to the hand, which doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be able to respond to it when it attacks. Like if it did what it made sense to do.
Or it should summon a stealth token. Token is not actually there.
Why does Scout search for more? I guess that makes sense.
Scouting.
It scouts? It should look at your opponent's spells and traps.
Or it should be like reinforcements of the Clifford's.
I mean, if I was going to
Clifford Reinforcer
teach someone why Yu-Gi-Oh was good and why I enjoyed the game, it's not because it's not those decks. It's not all of the decks that have all of these. It's the creationism in Yu-Gi-Oh is interesting because you have access to all of the cards. You can play whatever you want.
My interest is deck building, which is becoming difficult.
My interest is just lore and using decks that have lore outside
cool
the game.
lore. Yeah. You can't make a competitive custom deck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a semi-competitive custom deck.
Define custom deck.
There is no player generated deck anymore. Now it's just it's released and we get it.
And you can't do it on accident.
Well, I think the last player generated deck was Dino Rabbit.
Yeah.
And even then.
No, it was
pretty freeform, pretty
because you could have said okay, Rescue Rabbit plus the Evil Zor is the same pack, okay, but then we also have the Tour Guide and Levier. They're all non-matching pieces that go together.
That's true.
They killed that.
Yeah, they killed that. And then before that was plants. We haven't gotten any. There's no generic card. Oh, this is a good card that I could try to build my deck with.
Plants was the deck that felt like it had infinite potential.
It was. Yeah, that's the kind of deck I want Yu-Gi-Oh to have a lot of.
Matt made a plant deck. Kyle kind of made a plant deck.
Frogs was the deck.
Frog Synchro.
Frog Synchro was pretty player generated too.
It felt like you could do whatever you set your mind to. You could.
Yeah, you just put things in your deck that you wanted to do with your deck. And it'd be different than the other guy who's using the same deck. But now you're using your old deck, so is he.
The problem is that the archetypes are too small.
Yeah.
And they stop becoming relevant.
They don't. they're not dilutable or whatever.
You're told that you can't play with them. They have a time limit. They have a timeline. They have an expiration.
We all know it's like they release cards and we're like, okay, when is this going to get banned?
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, so they're going to ban it, so I already know that I can only play with it for a certain amount of time,
it's like
so I shouldn't
you get
invest
3
a bunch
formats to pay money for this Clifford deck and use it if you want to.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not interested in jumping on the bandwagon and winning really hard with it while it's there.
Don't rent me a deck, Konami. I want to own my deck.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I use Shadows, though, because I think they have the most dilutable card effects.
And they can be recombined into stuff that can survive a balance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, literally, none of their cards reference Shadow cards at all, other than the fusions who get a Shadow card back when they come back. Then they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, literally, I was like, because in the one-up format, I'm like, Squamata is the best card ever. If this card existed in, like, Goats, it'd be so good. It's a flip effect monster that destroys a monster. It also has 1800 attack, and it has an effect when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect. So it's like a floater monster that has a good flip effect, which is like really good outside of Shadows. So like how I was running Dragon and Light Swarms.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just that you can dilute the card completely from Shadows.
Yeah.
Which is I like that. That's the most interesting thing about that deck to me. And it's like got that hero kind of thing where it's like Omni fusions, which allows you to like, oh, if I really felt like it, I could make Frog Shadows. It wouldn't be the best, but I could make it.
Yeah.
In the future, like the deck gets hit, smashed to pieces, I can now make Frog Shadows, I can make this Shadows.
Kind of the same thing like Heroes. Like
Yeah.
you can mix it with other things.
Omni fusions for the heroes. And then you get those fun, interesting, like crazy wombo combo decks that are a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that about Shadows. But I ain't going to run Clifford's and nothing. No, I will. There was this idea. Helix and Carrier are just like the most like degenerate cards I've ever seen in my life. They're pendulum monsters, so they're infinite. But you can normal summon them without tribute, so there's 18. But they also, like, so they just go back to the extra deck. In any deck that runs pendulums, you just use them as that monster that's a filler. Because they're 18 under attack, they're unaffected by monster effects of lower level themselves, and if you ever just tribute them, they get a really good effect. So they're like the perfect pendulum monster. And I realized that the other day. I was like, why did they do that?
So they're just...
Like, you can just run them in, like, the vanilla pendulum deck, and it's the monster you summon. Then they're just insane. And even by themselves, they both form a scale. So one is a 1 and the other is a 9. And they summon themselves, they tribute over themselves. They have like perfect synergy with each other. And I was like, these cards are absurd. And they're not even like, they're just like a little bit of the deck. They're a little bit of this deck that's good. But they're the only dilutable piece. Because I was like, I wanted to like take Shell and put it in Monarchs. I was like, oh, a double attacker with piercing. Why wouldn't I run that? But it's only if you tribute Clifford monsters or something stupid like that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
You shall find out.
Right now, Clifford. Shell.
Justin, what time are you leaving?
Late.
Okay, Caden wants to come over and play Smash.
Okay.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to tribute a Klee monster. I mean, you can still tribute summon it, and then it's a 2800 attack monster that's unaffected by monster effects, essentially. Which is alright in Monarchs. But you don't need that in Monarchs anymore. Oh, you're
One last
tugging
thing
on
I
my
wanted
cord.
to say was that archetypes are too small.
It'd be
Yeah,
nice
they
if
go
they
away.
just made a deuce load of Shadow monsters, and a bunch of them just did things you didn't... Like, there were so many that you could choose how you run your deck.
Exactly.
That'd be so much more... Like, what if they just made, like, a Secret Forces pack is just only Shadow monsters? And they're all just like, I don't know what they could do.
Like, you could reset the game if you wanted to, just using one, like, creating a new archetype with, like, all of the same stuff that's been maybe a...
It'd essentially be a
Dino
core
Rabbit
set.
or something.
Like in Magic, a core set where you have all these things that... So everybody runs... I'm just going to keep using Shadows as an example. Everybody's running Shadows this format, but there's, like, 50 Shadow monsters that you're going to use. You might not use the fusion portion. There's fusion monsters. There's tribute monsters. There's this. There's that. There's a lot of them, and you can mix and match. That'd just be really cool.
Yeah.
But then they'd have to make a lot of that.
Yeah.
And you might start getting redundant stuff. Who knows?
I mean, that's the other thing. There's, like, 2 problems with Yu-Gi-Oh! Not necessarily problems, but 2 things that make the game seem like it's going to come to an end.
Make it stale.
And make it, yeah, I don't remember exactly what I thought of them, but one of them is like player optimization.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the internet and because Japan gets cards first,
Yeah.
and because there's no like central mode of interaction with Konami that allows us to talk to them and specifically tell them what we want, other than Pojo.
Which is not a good way to do that.
It's just like cards come out, and rather than everybody getting a chance to do stuff with them, it's like the deck that you use is figured out. We've all played it. We've all talked about it. There's no reason to do anything.
Yeah, we
else
know.
with it.
We literally know that Necros is not out as of this podcast, as we're recording. We know the build.
Mm-hmm.
We know the build we're going to use. Like, we already know.
Yeah. And on one hand, that's partially because, like, online dueling mechanisms or dueling programs allow us to play with things before they come out. But on the other hand, that's Konami's fault for not giving that to us and giving us a reason to use it anyway. Like, Konami was like, here's the computer online version of the game that, for the first time in forever, we're a company that's not going to charge you an arm and a leg for all these
and you'll
things.
start with all the cards.
Then, you know, we'll cater to you fans or something. Don't pay for cards, pay for skins, and pay for entry into tournaments or something. I don't know.
They should know. I feel like companies should know by now, but how to get money out of stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's an infinite number of ways that have been discovered.
Nobody wants to be nickeled and dimed for cards.
No. For virtual cards.
Yeah.
We're already getting nickeled and dimed for real cards.
Yeah.
What else?
And then the other thing is,
Redundant cards?
I guess, redundant
Was
cards.
that it?
Probably like...
I mean,
and
redundant
power
as
creep.
in, like, this archetype has all these same pieces as all archetypes. Like, here's the searcher, the blah, blah, blah.
I would say that it's not as bad as it used to be. Like, I remember us
No.
talking about that a lot back in, like, the early days of
Yeah.
archetypes. Like, oh, this is the one that destroys spell and traps. This is the one that destroys monsters. There's still
They
some of that.
strategically omit specific ones and do things. Now they do this thing where every monster in an archetype has the same, like, 3 sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the glyph words can be normal summon without tribute, become blah attack, and are unaffected by monsters whose level are blah, and then have a scale that has the same pendulum effect as all the glyph words.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do that. It's like, all shadulls have a hold effect and a blah effect, and then all the Burning Abyss have the blah and the blah. And that's a little, like, I don't know, it feels like a really cheap way to make it an archetype, but where in the past that was never a thing, where it's like, Gravekeepers, they all do things and have the name Gravekeeper.
Like, I'm just going to go to the Konami website right now. Konami blog.
Oh.
Konami
Justen.
blog. Is it Justen? Jonathan Castillo.
Castillo Gomez. He beat 799 duelists. Oh, it's not as many as I would have expected. But then again, I don't know where Charleston is.
The disconnect
North
between the type of cards that they're coming out with and the way that they treat players is really silly.
Well, they treat us like we're all like little baby kids, and I feel like it's like
Konami Japan doesn't treat their players that way. I
No,
guess I don't know.
But I feel like we're like the player base is like maybe like 16 to 30
That sounds like
males.
like we're going to go here, and this is freaking intense.
Oh, this is Magic.
The first thing on the Magic website is Pro Tour Fate Reforged, February 6th through 8th, 2015.
$40,000.
And then they have a bunch of like really direct information on how to play the game and where to play the game, and then articles.
There's like literally the first thing new to Magic. Like,
Yeah, basically everything that you would expect to have for like adults running a card game is here. And then you go to the Konami website, and
The internet stops.
The internet stops. Oh my god! And then what is this?
It's so hard to figure out where you're supposed to be.
What is even going on? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links, and no.
That's not.
anything.
Go click on that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in news. There we go. I'm in news. I want to be in news. Okay, here we go. Their new pack. Got to make that money. Secrets of Eternity. Apparently there was a sneak peek. Got to make that money. Then the next
January.
YCS. That's good. And then Hero
Structure deck.
Structure deck, and then Championship.
Whatever that is.
Which is, this is the official Tournament Store Championship thing.
Oh, the 28th, the last day. And
then
then
summoning tutorial. New products, guys. Gotta buy.
Return of the Bling. That's what the name of the Gold Series is. Isn't that how it is?
Yeah, Return of the Bling. Oh, it is.
Premium Gold, Return of the Bling.
Wow.
I don't know if we mentioned that. There's like no news on it other than that it exists. And cards that I don't care about.
This page just seems very product focused. And really
about
distracting.
Products. Gameplay, which is really...
Products before gameplay.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally what we've learned. Products before gameplay, gameplay before events.
Well, I mean, when the person who's designed this website wasn't stupid. They put them in the order... Like, people will go down the line if they're going to this, and they put them in the order that they want you to look at them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the first thing on, like, all of these lists is how to buy more cards.
Basically.
It's very monetarily based,
Yeah.
and you can tell.
Oh, they're reprinting Silent Honors Arc.
That card we don't need anymore.
Blackwing.
They got new gold secret technology.
Oh, yeah.
More new gold secret technology.
I hope it's not the same crappy gold secret. Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll end there. There's that comment right there. By Capone, he says, "Oh man, Kyle is definitely not prepared for the coming Necros Blizzard." I'm not. I don't know. I understand the deck's going to be like the best deck. But I mean, I'm not going to go play online and just ask for people to use Necros against me. It's not worth it. I don't care enough. I'll go to YCS and I'll get bopped by like 3 Necros in a row. That's
Who wants to get punched in the face?
Huh?
Not me.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah, the other thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that they don't have... The exclusivity of cards is real. Like, you find a card effect in, like, Cliff Forts that you're not going to find anywhere else. So you have no exposure to these kinds of effects anymore unless you play against the specific archetype.
Yeah, you can't know, like, how to blah, blah, blah.
Like, why would I expect that to happen? It's, like, only over there. But with Magic, they just have, like, different levels of things. Like,
you
they
can,
have
like, I'm playing against a red deck. Like, I can expect
certain types of things to happen.
Like, I've never played against Cliff Forts. They pendulum summon turn 1 into this thing and equip it with a mist body, essentially. And you're like, well, I mean, you don't know what to expect them to do next. I mean, and then they OTK you next, and you're like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know what's happening. There's a lot of that. It's like, you're playing against Shadows. They set a monster, set 3. Your turn, you don't know they're running Shadows. And it's like, you do a play, they interrupt it, and you summon an extra deck monster. And now it's their turn, and they OTK you because you summon an extra deck monster. You're like, how was I supposed to know that? Like, there's a lot of, how was I supposed to know this is how they can do unless you've played it. Unless you just have experience playing against the decks a lot.
I mean, is there another card game that works like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic that
you just have to know what cards do?
No, like there's Pokemon, which is like, it really doesn't matter what your opponent's cards do until they affect you because Pokemon works in a tennis kind of way. Like, it's my turn, and then it's your turn, and then it's my turn and your turn, and you don't really affect each other until you attack.
Yeah.
Like, you work on building up your base, and then your one Pokemon attacks, and then you're done.
And you're just exploding on each other's faces at all times.
Yeah. And...
I was playing Riley, and he attempted to destroy one of my back row, and then I did, like, a bunch of stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, it's still my turn. And he's like,
yeah, there's no
I play now?
response in Pokemon, really. There's no counters. What else is there? There's the World of Warcraft card game, which isn't even the same. Really.
Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, has the most potential, like, points of interaction, or, like, swapping between, like, who's making motion of card games I've played. Like, I mean, Magic would be second, but I always feel like I don't, coming from Yu-Gi-Oh background, I always feel like I don't have very many options to respond in Magic.
You don't.
Like, I have one card, and there's only really one optimal time to play it.
Yeah.
Like, if it's an instant.
I think that is true, because whenever I have played Magic against people, it's always like, I tend to understand what I'm. Well, I understand what I'm supposed to do a lot more in Magic. Anyway, that's a really weird other topic. We should not talk about that anymore.
Oh.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And now we should be done.
And we should be done.
We should be done
Next week.
next week of things.
YCS.
Oh yeah, you'll
splurging,
be at YCS.
I guess.
Yeah. You're going to YCS, J Mac?
Yeah.
J-Mac, yeah.
J10.
J10. J-Dog.
J-Tizzle Television.
Bell Dog.
I mean, I would only go to like be the awesome guy who brought a bunch of like drinks and snacks and hands them out.
You
to
should
people.
go, Matt. Just not to play, just to like hang out.
Ugh.
There's not much to do while other people are dueling, unless you're trading.
Watch.
You could
Watch
watch
the
duels.
slaughter.
I don't know. I've tried to watch. I don't know. It's hard to watch duels. Like if you go online and like watch, like ARG, it's kind of boring.
Mm. Yeah, so I don't know. I might go. I might not. I probably won't. Not
Well,
a ton in it for me.
yeah.
Right now, since I haven't like played with a real deck in months.
I would like. What was it? Justin was like, "You should invite Joe," and I said, "I would never wish that burden upon anyone." Like, if you did not know, like, any of these, like, any one of these decks, even if you're like, I know what Shadows do, they fusion, and they have effects when they're sent to graveyard. If you've never played any of these decks, I would never want to play in this format.
Yeah, you would set something, and then your opponent would go, and then they'd summon a monster, and then you'd lose the card that you set because it wasn't chainable, and it doesn't affect, like, Winda or something like that, because it doesn't get destroyed. And
On
you're
top
like,
of
oh
that,
my
who
gosh.
wants to get, like, blown out by, like, Necros with no, like, I didn't know this deck existed kind of blowout.
I didn't know that they could discard something from their hand and then go to their turn and then use it in the graveyard and then discard more stuff and then end the turn better, but in exactly the same place that they were before.
It's like when you're like playing against someone and they do something like they think it's gonna like stop you and you're just like, okay.
You're just like, huh, you didn't know that my gun reloads itself?
Yeah,
And
kind
it fires another shot at your head.
I mean,
You fool! You thought that was my last bullet. Like.
yeah.
That's what it seems like when you don't know the decks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like, there's like a knowledge you have to like attain to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what that's called. Like you need to attain this to get in the club kind of thing.
No, I know what you're talking about.
There's that
Yeah.
for Yu-Gi-Oh right now, but it's like fast.
Just some kind of knowledge or experience level.
Yeah. You have to initiate it.
Cool. Thank you guys for listening to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Podcast.
Yes, I'm Kyle Allweaver.
I'm Justin Bell.
And I'm Matt Carter.
We'll be back.
And if you have any comments on the many
Yes.
discussions that we've had in this podcast, how do you guys feel about Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you feel like it's coming to an end? Is your locals different than it's been before? Do you hear a lot of bad stuff about this format that you'd like to share with us or anybody else who might be listening? Because we might talk about exactly what you tell us on our podcast in the comment section.
Because that's what we do when we get to comments.
Yeah, did anybody in your locals over the weekend play with Necros, or do you like the way it plays? Was it confusing? Did you play it for the first time, or what's going on? What's going on in your world?
Yeah, I'm excited to get bopped. We'll be back. Comment on the comments page on the podcast, ycgpodcast.com, iTunes. Email us at ycgpodcast.com, our Twitter page,
Yeah.
our Facebook page. Many places to comment. Use all of them if you feel like it. And that's it.
Yeah.
See ya next time.
Bye.